Say, come on into Campbell. Campbell Heating and Cooling is Central Connecticut's leader when it comes to competitive pricing on a new boiler, heat pump, or furnace. Don't despair when your old clunking furnace just can't be repaired. Replace with an affordable, custom-designed heating system from Campbell. Contact Campbell today at campbellcooling.com. That's campbellcooling.com.
Campbell Cooling uses all major name brands, including American Standard and Mitsubishi heating and cooling equipment. Let our expert technicians heat your home this fall.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself.
Yo, 1 minute.
Here to take your
Thank
most
you, sir.
pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. Where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese is on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Yeah! How's that volume now, Roland?
Much better.
I thought so. What's going on, all you scallywags out there? You know what time it is. It's time. It's time for that man. You know him, Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080. Are they telling us to move on, Roland?
Yeah, gotta move on, bro.
All right, whatever. I'm not, again, never would I have ever made a big issue out of it, but you know what? What the hell? It happened. But I got other stuff to get to, which is related to it. It's related to it. Because what we have to recognize is where we are in society today. And welcome to your Friday, by the way. All of you weekend revelers. When did it get so crazy? And the question needs to be asked, but it cannot be answered because no one really knows when. I have an idea. You have an idea. Many people can go as far back as the 60s and 70s. Some people will say that it happened in the 90s. I've heard many people on this very program say that it was right around 2008 in the election of Barack Obama. But I want to if I can, from my point of view, I can say that there have been a whole bunch of things that have gone sort of back and forth. But if I were to really pinpoint where we are right now as to what led to the craziness, I think, if I'm right, and I'll take your phone calls about it. You can tell me if I'm off the beaten path here, if maybe I'm not gauging it right, but I really do. I think it all happened right around the mid-90s. I really do believe that the mid-90s sort of ginned up the crazy. And it was on one side. Now, many people will sit up here and tell you, the Republicans are crazy too. And not so much. We've got them. There are some people who are beyond the pale. As any political group will tell you, hey, the independents are like that too. And as much as we revel and celebrate Ross Perot, you remember that time when he started talking about space aliens. But I say it all began about the 90s. 90s was very pivotal for a lot of groups on the left. In particular, the African Americans. In the 90s, there was this emergence of mainstreaming in the urban community. Anybody remember when the late night wars were going on? Johnny Carson, David Letterman, Jay Leno. As soon as Johnny was out, Jay Leno, David Letterman were back and forth, and then out of nowhere, this upstart comedian does a nightly news show, and he was the new big thing, Arsenio Hall. And the moment that changed everything politically was a saxophone-playing candidate for president, William Jefferson Clinton, Bubba. That changed everything for that election. It is undeniable that in that moment, 1992 was pivotal to our way of life, socially and definitely politically. The Democrat Party was in the dirt. Ronald Reagan had pretty much ended them. Democrats needed a champion, a hero. And Bill Clinton was the answer. In that moment, on Arsenio Hall, got plenty of people who were kind of felt disenfranchised in their own right, whether or not it was accurate or not, felt like they were a part of something. It was a little different in 2008 with Barack Obama. I think a lot of that stuff was sort of fake and manufactured. I think there was a lot of push by the news media. But what Bill Clinton did at that moment was strategic, organic even. I don't really think that the media played a role. Now, what do I mean by that? Bill Clinton, during that time, was getting attacked by the news media, especially about his extramarital affairs. I don't remember anyone saying that there wasn't a fair and balanced news media during that election. Clinton was raked over the coals several times about that. No matter how many Democrats were on the news saying that his personal business was his personal business, the media did not stop. In many cases, people believe that Herbert Walker Bush should have skated. He should have skated in that election. But he did not, because the young upstarts really loved Bill Clinton. He spoke to them, and they felt powerful. people who never felt that they belonged did. 1992 was also an exceptional age. The wife and I always talk about this with the boy about 1992, 93 even. I told the boy this one story about a nightclub I was in Lower Manhattan. It was on 5th Avenue and 12th or 13th Street. It used to be a Korean deli, and somebody had hollowed it out and turned it into a nightclub. They were doing that all over the place in the 90s. But we were in there, and the crowd was mixed for 5th Avenue. It's in the NYU area, but the crowd was mixed. You had the hip-hop heads. You had the college heads, whites, blacks, Asians, everybody. Center of New York City, downtown. And we're in the club, and everyone's playing the most popular hip-hop tunes that were pretty much of the top 40 realm. So if you knew that, if you were playing that song, everybody who was there, no matter what demographic they were, they knew the songs. And it was a strong hip-hop sort of element. Top 40, but still hip-hop. And I still say it was one of the most miraculous moments of my 20s, as far as cultural and as far as cultural spheres go. So in the middle of that hip-hop, very urban sort of atmosphere, all of a sudden I hear a guitar riff played by the DJ. You know it well. Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana. The whole place went nuts. They were more excited about that song being played at any other time the entire night that song came on. Everyone in that moment felt like they were in a concert with Nirvana. The guy was just playing a record. And that was the moment that I knew everything had changed. No matter who you were or where you were, music was absolutely like there was a mind meld or a meld of cultures right there. That year, that time was absolutely different for everybody. You might even remember this. Back in the, late 80s, early 90s, even, what's the group? Guns N' Roses did a song off the soundtrack of Judgment Day. What was Axl Rose wearing in the music video? An NWA hat. Anthrax was performing with Public Enemy. It was a time that was unlike anything else, but at the same time, people felt like they mattered. People were getting involved in politics and social things in ways that they hadn't before. They were trying to to grab the protest and the protest class of the 1960s. They were trying to revamp the whole thing. Even fashion was going back to the 60s. I'll never forget, Gap started bringing back bell bottoms. The hippie age started going on. You have to know about De La Soul in order to understand that for the late 80s. But people were bringing back the 60s, the protest era. People were fighting for their rights, so to speak. They called it Generation X because no one knew what they stood for, but they wanted to stand for something. They finally felt they had power. And as they got older, they wanted more of it. The election of Bill Clinton, the re-election of Bill Clinton, this meant they had clout. During that era, we had the Million Man March. Louis Farrakhan was more vocal than he'd ever been in his career. He was an outcast. This time he was staging marches on Washington. Can you imagine all of that, in their view, progress, years and years and years? And then, as you know, it's supposed to happen, right? All of it. Sure, we get the George W. Bushes, but the protests went nuts then too. But it was George W. Bush, and we had a war, and that was a good distraction in order to keep him elected, as many people believed. I'll admit, I was probably one of them. But the movement kept going. progressivism kept going. And the further and further it got, the more and more momentum it got, the more powerful people became. And then, as we all know, 2015 threw a wrench in all of that. Many people stood around laughing at what was going to become the MAGA movement. There's no way this upstart, a guy, a real estate mogul and a television show host, a reality show host, there's no way that kind of stuff is laughed about. This isn't real. And then as the momentum grew, even when people thought that this guy was just tripping over himself and he was saying things that were completely outlandish, there's no way the world would ever allow that to happen. Look at the progress we've made for so many years. How could it happen? And it did. And you have to be honest about one thing when it comes to the other side. When you have a group of people who are complacent and comfortable, and then someone comes in and kicks the toys over and says you can't play in the park anymore, if you don't know how to respond to that, if you don't know how to fight back, you will just lose your mind, scream, holler, throw a tantrum. You've always had it your way. Didn't matter if you had a couple of hiccups here and there, but you always got it your way. And then somebody comes around and tells you, not anymore. You've had it too easy. You're going to get people reacting the way that they're acting. So if you're looking at all of this and wondering, why are they so crazy? Why are they so over the top? Why are they screaming and hollering? People who should know better, of age, of stature, why would they put it all at risk? It was because they've never had their toys taken from them. No one's ever told them that they're not allowed to play in the playground and make the rules anymore. They were always unstable. Now that they have to deal with a new reality, they don't know how to. While you were getting angry and trying to be strategic and looking at things from this point of view that says, how do I fix this? Or I have a problem. I need to deal with this strategically. Okay, I need to moderate. I need to, readjust. While you were out there doing the things that adults do, acclimating, these folks were losing their minds instead of going with the flow because they only see it their way and they only want it their way. Don't be confused by the crazy. Just recognize it. Unfortunately, we're the ones who are going to have to adapt. We're going to have to adapt to the crazy. But it doesn't mean that we sit idly by. We have to continue to work hard. Some will get it, some will don't, but we have to accept that many won't. We'll take a break. We'll come back. More news, more views when we return. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
At Ayala Home Services, we handle hundreds of water heater issues a year. We know how much of an inconvenience no hot water is, and with our fully stocked trucks and warehouse, you can get your hot water back as soon as the same day. Contact the trusted professionals at Ayala Home Services when you call, click, or text today and say hello, ALO. Call for details. Licensed for safety. HIC 628926, P102776688, S1041347, D104014665, S3308699, SM3004646, E1185643.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind: to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-949-1441. That's 800-949-1441. 800-949-1441.
Life is short, and if we spend our time suffering with pain and it takes away our joy, that's not a very good way to live.
He's right. It's hard to be happy when you're in constant pain. QC Kinetics patient Chad admits the chronic pain in his knee really robbed his quality of life.
When I was going to the traditional doctor and getting the pain pills, my smile wasn't as big as it usually is. Going to my high school reunion on crutches, it was awful.
But then Chad visited QC Kinetics. He experienced the real power behind natural regenerative treatments. Using healing properties from his own body, QC Kinetics was able to restore and repair damaged tissue, finally giving Chad lasting relief with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime.
And I'm feeling on top of the world because of QC Kinetics.
Learn how advanced regenerative medicine can help your body heal itself at QC Kinetics. Call now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 860-440-PAIN. That's 860-440-PAIN. 860-440-PAIN.
And now, a WTIC news update.
Okay.
2:30 Hartford temperature 82 degrees. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Mostly sunny, warm, even a bit more humid today, too. Temperatures in the 80s. Interstate 95 was closed this morning in both directions in Westbrook. Crash involving a tractor trailer saw wood spilled all over the road. No word yet on when it will reopen. Tanker spilled 2,000 gallons of cooking oil on Interstate 91 today. This crash occurred down in Rocky Hill between exits 23 and 22S. Employers added 22,000 jobs last month to the labor market. The word from the Department of Labor today that hiring also decelerated from 79,000 in July. And there was some horsing around outside the state capitol today, but for a good cause. The famed Budweiser Clydesdales were on hand to drum up support for the Fields of Honor. The Folds of Honor, that is. The nonprofit provides scholarships for the spouses and children of military and first responders killed in action. WTIC News Time 2:31. Bob Cox with the forecast.
This afternoon is mostly sunny, warm, and kind of humid with dew points in the 60s, temperatures between 80 and 85 degrees, and an increasing southerly breeze picking up to 12 to 20 miles an hour, some higher gusts by late in the day. Tonight looks clear to partly cloudy, patchy fog in places late tonight, lows in the 60s. Partly sunny with increasing cloudiness Saturday. Most of us remain dry during the morning. As we go through the afternoon and evening, there'll be a slow-moving area of showers and thunderstorms moving from northwest to southeast. Could see a couple of heavy downpours in the state during the second half of the day, and there is the potential for a strong to severe thunderstorm. Highs will be in the low to mid-80s, and it's very humid tomorrow. The dew point could reach 70. Still some showers around and the chance for thunder Saturday night. Lows 55 to 60. Might even see a couple lingering showers into Sunday morning. With luck, we'll see some partial sun by Sunday afternoon. It's cooler and less humid with highs in the low 70s. I'm meteorologist Bob Cox in the WTIC Weather Center.
In addition to the closure on 95 in Westbrook, also the Route 145 overpass there is closed between Pequot Park Road and Old Clinton Road. There was some structural damage involved with that crash that is still being cleaned up. And again, 91 North Rocky Hill, 91 South Rocky Hill between 23 and 22S. Right lane still out with that tanker crash. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Hi, this is Eric Hogarth, certified financial planner from Money Wisdom. Learn ways to prevent avoidable surprises from derailing your retirement and discover smart financial strategies for your future. Listen every week on Money Wisdom, Saturdays at 8:30 on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Attention Southern New England HVAC and mechanical contractors. Eagle Rivet is your trusted roofing partner for professional roof penetrations and flashing. We ensure your customers' roofs remain watertight during installations, protecting their warranties. We We also offer complimentary roof inspections to identify potential issues before any HVAC work begins. Call Eagle Rivet today at 860-953-1231 or visit us online at eaglerivet.com. That's EAGLERIVET.com. Eagle Rivet is proud to support Rebuilding Together Hartford.
Allergies to cats don't come from their hair. It's a protein called FeLD1 in their saliva. Cleaning helps, but that alone isn't enough. Packaging's cat allergen reducing supplement neutralizes allergens at the source. Its whisker block proteins bind FeLD1 inside your cat's mouth before it ever makes you sneeze. Plus, it supports gut and immune health for lasting relief. Control allergies with confidence. Add Packagin to your cat's food daily. Packagin.com. PACAGEN.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Men, summertime is here, and that means vacations, summer barbecues, outdoor parties, camping, beaches, and so much more. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and if you're like many men, you may not be feeling like yourself this summer. Perhaps your energy is low and you aren't sleeping well. Maybe your workouts aren't as good as they used to be. Maybe even your sex drive is off. And if what I'm describing is you, it's very likely you're suffering with low testosterone. But low T doesn't have to affect you anymore. Just call Northeast Men's Health, get treated, and see how it changes your life. If you're like most men, you'll feel so much better. Deeper sleep, improved vitality and clarity, greater strength and energy, and an improved sex drive as well. So call us. Just $99 gets you a PSA and T test and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you, including our new office in Warwick, Rhode Island.
Online security is a must, and millions are choosing NordVPN to stay safer and more private online. And you can do that too. Get NordVPN with 77% off and up to 3 months extra. NordVPN will encrypt your online traffic from data snoopers and internet service providers, while NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro will reduce risk of phishing and alert you about the fake online shops and known scams. And that's not all. If your email address is leaked to the dark web, you will get an instant notification from the Dark Web Monitor and act accordingly. Get the special NordVPN deal today at nordvpn.com. This offer includes a 77% discount on a 2-year plan and up to 3 extra months. Savings and additional terms apply and can be found on nordvpn.com. The offer is valid until October 15th.
After this hypnosis, I want to eat good.
I can honestly say I have not had one potato chip.
It was life-changing for me.
And I don't think about desserts like I used to.
Bridget, how much have you lost now?
I lost a total of 83 pounds.
Holy cow.
It's easy, it's fun, very relaxing, and very successful.
And I would just say go for it.
Oh my. What are you waiting for? Join Mark Patrick Seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed early bird special, only $49.99. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings, late day eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. Seminar Thursday, September 18th at the Hilton Garden Inn, Hartford North, Bradley International Airport, Windsor. Weight loss seminar 5:30. Stop smoking seminar 8 p.m. Or Saturday, September 20th, Holiday Inn Express Southern Seminar 11 a.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Registration 30 minutes before. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com. That's markpatrickseminars.com.
Listen to WTIC News Talk 1080 on the free Odyssey app. Download and like WTIC today for alerts on special programming.
All right, we are back. Reese on the radio, WTIC News Talk 1080. Was Angel Reese suspended from the WNBA? For what? I didn't know you could be suspended for bricks. You could be suspended for throwing bricks? I didn't know that. Perhaps they suspended her for the 2 to 3 points that she scores per game. I don't know. Moving along, we've got a guest today at 4:05. I'm not going to tell you who it is until we get to the headlines. The headlines will tell you who the guest is, but I want you to tune in for that because, of course, it involves another journalist and some news that broke today about the newspaper called The Day, if you haven't heard about it. So we'll talk to the person who is the subject of that matter, and we'll explain it once we get to headlines. So stand by for that at 4:05. I saw this story, and I thought it was worth discussing. And I think there should be a new venture. I've been thinking about this in a limited way because when we talked about Newington and the Optimo car wash, one thing that you guys kept bringing up was Optimo cited for having illegals working at its operation. And that is such a good point. But you don't really know how to address it. Because I'm usually of the understanding that, which companies, how do you know which companies? That may take a little bit of work. It may take some undercover work to do that. There might be some people who do know and don't know who to talk to. And the reason why I say that is that some of those people don't know who to talk to, and the reason why they want to talk is because of, obviously, for safety reasons. I could be working with some denuntenant from some other foreign country who doesn't know what he's doing and has nothing to lose other than his life, and therefore causing an accident that could take the life of somebody else who is certified to be on said job. It's like working with a drunk driver. The only thing he cares about is getting to his destination. And a lot of these guys, Kate, they don't care about the safety. These guys are getting paid pennies on the dollar. When you have the responsibility, because you are legally hired, you do your job with a degree of caution, severity. So I heard this story about the Georgia Hyundai dealership. Well, plant, I should say. Not a dealership, it's a plant. And when I heard the story, you immediately go, and it shows you how biased you can be. All I heard was that Homeland Security and ICE went down to this facility and grabbed over 450 folks, scooped them up. And I'm going, wow. Was this an actual plant where they were built? No, they were constructing the plant. So I'm saying to myself, oh, wow. Okay. That must have been easy to figure out. And then something else happened. I learned today that a majority of the illegals were South Korean. And imagine all of us. And again, I'm taking full ownership here. So you guys on the left, say what you want. I am taking ownership of this. When I heard the story, I went to the low-hanging fruit. I went to the common denominator. I do not deny it. I went, wow, 450 folks over at the Hyundai dealership? That must have been easy to pick up. It must have been fish in a barrel for ICE. And then to find out that they were South Korean, a majority of them, I went, whoa. And no, truth be told, many of us do not think about that. But let me say this to the left. Neither do you. Because I am certain that just like me, you thought the same thing in that story. And when you found out they were South Korean, you were finally you were looking for an own. You were probably sitting up there going, see, they're not all Latino and Hispanic. See? I'm not, you got me. Guilty as charged. But you were there too. I know we all were. We had to have been, unless we read the story. If you saw the headline, 450 people picked up at a construction of a Hyundai plant, you would have never thought, whoa, South Koreans? Wouldn't have even come across your mind. But here we are. So I started thinking about it. I immediately started thinking about it, going, you know, maybe that should be the new frontier. Let's stop complaining about whether or not the businesses are being held accountable. I want you to think about this on this level. As much as we talk about our communities that have all of these folks in them, right, who were there, we know nothing about them. Guys like Justin Elliker tell us he doesn't know who they are. And if we want to, we should get to know them. By the way, imagine the risk of that the neighbor that lives next door, and Justin Elliker says, you go find out who your neighbors are. And you walk over to the neighbor's house. Hey, how are you? I'm Reese. I'm your next door neighbor. And the person that you're knocking on the door is from the Sinaloa cartel. Or some other bad group, a Trinidad Aragua person. And that person doesn't want to be asked questions and start saying, yeah, what are you doing here? What are you coming here for? What are you welcome wagon? Get out of here. What if that person doesn't want to be met and that person's got a violent history or a violent disposition? And I'm going over there to go, bring them baked goods. Hi. We wanted to bring you guys some freshly made strudel. Imagine. I'm just saying. But now, think about it on this front. At the Hyundai plant. Your friends and neighbors are working there too. Your brothers, your sisters, perhaps your dad or your mom. And someone is there who's not been vetted, clearly isn't certified to doing the work there. They may be certified in another country, but they're not certified to be here. They have absolutely, if they run the risk of getting somebody injured, they just walk off the job and go and find another one. Remember, the company has no actual paperwork on them that can hold that individual accountable. They pretty much just have to tell them, get out of here. You don't work here anymore. There's no paperwork. That person is absolutely, whoever it is that your family member is on that job is at the mercy of the next lunatic who's got nothing to lose, just like the case in your community. So I think that it's important that if these things are happening, people need to step up. The Optimal Car Wash, if they are hiring illegals, it's a great car wash. I heard a lot of people love it. Many people are saying, we don't want to destroy a small business. I don't either. But there are plenty of small businesses around. How many small businesses are not doing well? Because one small business is cutting corners. How many? How many people out there cannot start a legitimate business and hire legitimate individuals? Has to compete with somebody who is hiring illegals for pennies on the dollar, or just let them hang around and make tips. Oh, they do that too. They do that too. So there should be a task force for that. This case with Hyundai in Georgia, the press conference today, one of the spokespersons said that they got tips. They were doing this a months-long investigation. And they were talking to employees who were there who knew of the illegals who were there. One reporter during the press conference said that it was known by the local community that the illegals were working there for months. They knew it pretty much since the beginning of the year during the building of that site, that the neighbors knew about it. Now, the fact that a journalist in Georgia knew that, the people who worked in journalism in that state and in that region all knew. Now they're in front of the investigators, the guys who did all the hard work, and are questioning the guys who arrested them and says, hey, you know, a lot of people in the neighborhood knew that this was going on for months. And you guys didn't report on it? You guys didn't tip off the authorities? You guys knew a scandal was a brewing with Hyundai, and not one of you alerted the authorities? You played the background? When has that ever been the case? When has that ever been the case? Gone are the days of Woodward and Bernstein, I might add. But yeah, no one said a word and had the audacity to bring that up. Young woman during the press conference. Yeah, this is something that everybody knows has been going on for a long time. Can you tell us how long your investigation was going on? And he just looked at her and just like, are you people serious? So everybody knew? The employees had to go to the federal government to get them to act because they couldn't rely on the local media to keep them safe or to pretty much arrest people who were breaking the law and putting people's lives in danger? That's where we are. Max says, I, for one, just assumed they were South Korean. Not me. Oh, I definitely did not think South Korean. When I saw that, I openly admit, I was quite surprised. I went, oh. But it's not like we didn't know that plenty of other different people were coming through the southern border. Hell, I watched that Bill Maloogian report every night during the Biden administration. We'll take a break. We'll come back. More news, more views, and we got headlines coming up. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
It's summertime. If you're between the ages of 17 and 25, now's the time to check your wisdom teeth. Impacted wisdom teeth can cause a lot of unnecessary pain, so let Columbia Dental remove them sooner than later. Call 860-645-0111.
Hi, this is Brian Kilmeade from Fox & Friends. If you checked out my radio show, The Brian Kilmeade Show, listen weekdays at 9 a.m. on News Talk 1080. We're talking about the issues that matter most to you. We're giving you the breaking news, talking to the newsmakers you want to hear from. Where does President Trump take the country? Where do the Democrats go from here? We are covering all this in great depth and so much more. The Brian Kilmeade Show, weekdays, 9 a.m. on News Talk 1080. Listen to your radio, smart speaker, or on the free Odyssey app.
Mint is still $15 a month for premium wireless. And if you haven't made the switch yet, here are 15 reasons why you should. 1, it's $15 a month. 2, seriously, it's $15 a month. 3, no big contrast. 4, I use it. 5, my mom uses it. Are you playing me off? That's what's happening, right? Okay.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, $15 per month equivalent required. New customer offer first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Here's the tale of the daily med fill. Same old pharmacy, same old bill. But those prices kept rising higher still.
Till the savings wrangler rode in. Cool as can be. Tap Good RX. Saving massively.
No plan? Don't matter none. Up to 80% off. Deals are done.
Discounts hitting harder than Ma's chili. Dang. That one little app does all the rest.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
Check Good RX. Good RX is not insurance.
I'm Ed Evans, Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
If you're still waiting for a sign, here's another one. At California Psychics, we reject 98% of the psychics who apply to work for us. So we only connect you with the best. That's how we can get...
And someone went in there and told her that, too, so...
free. And
I want to know who that was.
Oh, told her about what happened?
Just $20.
Yeah.
That's not a sign.
That's the real snitch. I want to know who that was.
Yeah.
Incoming. Experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
More news and views than you can shake a stick at. We've got headlines coming up in a little bit. We've got some Hollywood news that involves a very old director and actor that I grew up when I first wanted to be in Hollywood. This actor and director I wanted to be like. I thought he was a giant in movies when I was a kid. And he was even gracious enough to star in a film in 1986 that I still think that he should have never done, because he starred in it and he soon passed away. I think he passed away before the movie was even released. So I want to talk about him in Hollywood news, so stand by for that. Of course, we got Between Rounds that winter coming up as well. Don't forget, you can always go to reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com, so you can log in. Also, follow me on Substack, where you can get my articles every Sunday right there. And you can find them in my good friends, the Connecticut Sentinel, who wrote a nice piece about me today. And thank the folks at the Connecticut Sentinel for believing in the show. And all of you, as always, as you support the program. I do have an update. Somebody just sent this to me, and I want to give them credit for giving me the heads up. So give me a second here. I think it is, yes, Trick Step sent this to me on X. He said, please let everybody know this. HHS reinforces religious and conscious exceptions from childhood vaccine mandates. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Offices for Civil Rights today issued a letter notifying state awardees of vaccines for children's program that participating immunization programs and program registered providers must respect state religious and conscience exemptions from vaccine mandates. Today's letter makes clear that providers must respect state laws protecting religious-based exemptions to vaccine mandates. And this, according to HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy. So this has been an argument that many folks have been having. In fact, CNN was talking about it just the other day. In fact, I just watched Benny Johnson have a debate with, Chris Cuomo, with this, nonsense about, your kids got to get vaccines so my kids don't get sick. You could always homeschool your kids. And I'm like, why not homeschool your kids? What are you talking about? Anyway, but this is great. Religious freedom will be protected again under this. I just want to hear the people who are going to complain about it. And I love it when people make these arguments about religious freedom. It's funny. Speaking of religious freedom, I've got this clip that I was going to play yesterday. But, of course, things got thrown off the rails. They didn't get thrown off the rails. I brought that on. Tim Kaine yesterday, a lot of people were talking about this.
The notion that rights don't come from laws and don't come from the government, but come from the creator, that's what the Iranian government believes. It's a theocratic regime that bases its rule on Shia law and targets Sunnis, Baha'is, Jews, Christians, and other religious minorities. And they do it because they believe that they understand what natural rights are from their creator. So the statement that our rights do not come from our laws or our governments is extremely troubling.
That guy was almost vice president. Yeah, Lori's like dodged another bullet. Yeah, I've never understood people who don't get that. That's another part of like the opening monologue. We do have a society that believes that government is our God. And there's another, group of people who believe that government is our mom and dad. They've tethered themselves to the government because, and this is the interesting part, right? Even though government isn't reliable, people still think it is. And what do I mean by that? So a lot of people openly don't trust the government, but they can easily rely on it. Because for certain things, they know they'll be there, right? They can get a check. They can get housing. Those things are things that they think are guaranteed. As long as I apply, they will be made available for me. I can't trust them with anything else. They keep secrets from us. They lie to us. They're always doing something sneaky. They're always lining their own pockets and their friends' pockets. But when I need them, they're always ready and available. Because without them, I'd have to do it on my own. And again, they even shun people who refuse government assistance, if you will. And I don't mean just welfare. They will shun you and say, and then malign you for having done it yourself. Well, you're different. You're the exception, not the rule. Not everybody is like you. I love that one. That's my favorite one. Not everybody's like you, Reese. I don't want everybody to be like me. And it's not a requirement that you do it my way. It's just like, do it on your own way. Other people need the government. They need it. Do they, though? It's just, again, it's a place where we are. And I think that's the part where a lot of people went crazy, was that now the government isn't what it was. I think that was part of all that nonsense, the screaming and hollering, was that government was being literally like chopped to pieces, discarded. People were nuts. Anyway, that's my take. Headlines coming up next. Oh, and congratulations applied to our newsroom. John Silva, Morgan Cunningham, award-nominated individuals. Let's get to the WTIC newsroom with John Silva now. Hey, John, congrats.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
It's 3 o'clock, 82 degrees in Hartford. We'll have the sun, humidity too. Temperatures approaching the mid-80s, and good threat for some thunderstorm activity, at least for part of the weekend. We'll have the forecast details coming up. Crews continuing to clean up that big mess on Interstate 95 in Westbrook. Happened this morning. Multiple vehicles crashed, including a tractor trailer that wound up spilling plywood all over the road on both sides. This is on 95, north and southbound between exits 64 and 65. Transportation officials also reported damage along the Route 145 overpass as well. That has been closed. Traffic was being taken off the highway at exit 64. President Trump reacting to the job numbers that came out today. Willie James Inman has that.
The president is reacting to this himself, calling on Jerome Powell to lower those interest rates and perhaps trying to blame Jerome Powell for this latest jobs report number that we saw, calling him too late. Powell, and that he should have raised rates a long time ago.
The Labor Department reports 22,000 jobs were added by employers last month, and the number in July was lowered downward to 79,000. Surrounded by Austin by families impacted by the July Texas floods, Governor Greg Abbott has signed several flood and camp safety measures.
They dropped their daughters off at camp expecting to be able to see them again very soon. They had no clue they would never see those daughters again.
27 campers and counselors were killed in flash flooding on the 4th of July. As 9/11 victims' families prepare for next week's marking of 24 years since the attacks on the World Trade Center, the Pentagon, and the downing of a plane in Pennsylvania, many see new hope on the legal front. Last week, a federal judge allowed a long-running lawsuit against Saudi Arabia to go to trial. The suit claims two men working for the Saudi government assisted the attackers in the U.S. Brett Eagleson of Middletown has been part of that suit from the start. His father died on 9/11.
These 19 al-Qaeda terrorists did not act alone.
They did not have the skills, the language, the money, the cultural experience to be able to pull off a 9/11 attack without some form of a support network. And what we've been saying is that the support network came from the government of Saudi Arabia.
Now, Eagleson calls the judge's decision to reject Saudi Arabia's attempt to dismiss the lawsuit as historic. The families and surviving victims are seeking financial damages from the kingdom. State and local officials gathered at the state capitol today, along with the famed Budweiser Clydesdales, to urge support for Folds of Honor. The nonprofit raises money for scholarships for the spouses and children of military and first responders killed on the line of duty. Anheuser-Busch and its wholesalers like Hartford Distributors has teamed up with Folds of Honor to raise $33 million to fund scholarships for some 6,600 recipients. Hartford Distributors GM Andy Ginsberg tells the story of one Connecticut spouse, Marie McCrae.
Through the scholarships provided by Folds of Honor, her children were able to continue their education and pursue their dreams. Her story is a reminder of why we are here, why we give, and why all this matters. At Hartford Distributors, we are proud to stand with Folds of Honor, proud to bring the Budweiser Clydesdales here to Hartford as a symbol of pride.
McCrae's husband was seriously injured in a training mission in the military, but became a lawyer before he fell ill and passed away. Folds of Honor was founded in 2007. WTIC News Time is 3:04, checking traffic. We've got two-vehicle crash on the westbound side of 84 in East Hartford between exits 57 and 56. That's taking out two right lanes. We still have the north and southbound sections of Interstate 95 down in Westbrook closed between 65 and 64 from that earlier crash and load spillage. And there's still mopping up a crash down in Rocky Hill on 91 South between exits 23 and 22S, right lane closed. Tanker truck spilled some cooking oil, about 2,000 gallons worth along the road. Let's check the WTIC Weather Center forecast.
Warm and rather humid out there for the rest of the afternoon. We'll have some sunshine, temperatures up into the mid-80s. And tonight, partly cloudy, sticky down to 66. Tomorrow starts out dry, but it'll be very warm and humid. Intervals of clouds and sunshine up to 84. Then we'll see a couple of heavy gusty storms cross the area during the afternoon and evening. Storms capable of producing damaging wind gusts, and there could even be an isolated tornado. And looks like the thunderstorms will wind down then as we head into the evening, but that evolves into some rain as we head through the night tomorrow night, lasts into Sunday morning. Low tomorrow night, 61. And Sunday afternoon, we dry out. Clouds break for some sunshine. We're back up into the mid-70s. And then it looks pretty nice as we head into the early part of next week. Mostly sunny for Monday, a high 75. Tuesday, intervals of clouds and sunshine up to 74. It looks like the dry weather continues on Wednesday. This is meteorologist John Feerick in the WTIC Weather Center.
Dow Jones down 239 points. NASDAQ's down 33. S&P's off 26. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/radio to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Hey, baseball fans, you can win tickets to a Boston Red Sox game with the Red Sox Player of the Game contest. Just listen when we announce the player of the game during the 7th inning stretch. That would be during the break in the middle of the 7th inning. During every game broadcast on WTIC. Then tune into Brian and Company the following morning at 8:10. Know the player of the game, be the correct caller, and you'll win a pair of tickets to an upcoming game in Boston. It's the Red Sox Player of the Game contest. Only on WTIC. News Talk 1080.
Wesley Planning is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell,
Thank you,
the
sir.
timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
All right, we are back. Let's get to some headlines. New York mayoral candidate Zohran Mamdani campaign says that it has hit its $8 million spending cap. Is a sign of the Democrat support that's especially among small dollar donors in New York City. And I think that it's fair that we just start calling him Mayor Mamdani. I'm over it. The election is a bust. It is Zohran Mamdani's election to lose. And it's got to happen. It just does. I want to see those people withering on the ground in the hot sun. What have we done? Like that moment when Charleston Heston shows up and sees the Statue of Liberty waist deep in the sand. Good God, they've done it. That's what I want. I want it. That's what I want. I want to see it. I don't want anybody screaming, what have you done? You did it. We know. We're going to sit idly by, you know? Just sit right there. You know what? Can we see it from the Merritt Parkway? For scenic reasons. That's where we should be. Waving at New York. It sets itself ablaze. Hey, folks, remember all of that burning of Teslas you did? Yeah, remember that? Try this one on for size. Tesla's board unveiled a compensation package for the chief executive that could be worth $900 billion if he, Elon Musk, meets their ambitious targets. Musk, already the world's richest person, would have to increase Tesla's stock market value eightfold over the next decade to collect the full value of the package, according to the securities filing. All the compensation would be in the form of Tesla shares. The package, which must be approved by the company's shareholders, is expected to be put to a vote at an annual meeting on November 6th. Mr. Musk, whose net worth is more than $400 billion, according to Forbes, says the new pay would add around $900 billion. If he succeeds in raising Tesla's stock market value to $8.5 trillion from about the $1.1 trillion it is today, it would make him the far richest man in the world. In fact, the world's first trillionaire. So that vote's going to happen on November 6th, and that's quite possible. Anyway, other things in the news. This one we will actually cover live in a little bit. Dave Collins, the longtime columnist for The Day of New London, has been shown the door. He was fired over a dispute over editing a column about Representative Greg Howard of Stonington and his defense of the masked warrantless ICE raids in Connecticut. So it turns out that Dave Collins was trying to write this article. The Day wanted to re-edit it to add a comment by Representative Greg Howard. Collins did not wish to, saying he wanted access to the column. They would not give it to him. And then, as he puts it, after a 45-year career with the paper, he has now been shown the door via email. I read one of the articles that Dave Collins has written about Greg Howard. We'll discuss that with our guest today, who will be Representative Greg Howard of Stonington, who joined us at 4:05 to talk about all of this and what I believe may be a back and forth between these two individuals that has gotten personal, at least from the article that I read. So we'll talk to Greg Howard about that at 4 o'clock today. And now time for the stupidest thing I read today.
Yes, you do. Stupid as can be. This could very well be the stupidest person on the face of the earth.
This one is EBT at Taco Bell. Back in 2023, an online question asked, does Taco Bell take EBT? The answer stated, you may be surprised to learn that Taco Bell does take EBT in certain circumstances. You have to be eligible for this special program and make sure you're stopping at one of the 7 Taco Bell locations approved to process SNAP EBT payments. Fast forward to 2025. And Reese on the Radio, your humble correspondent in his research, has now learned that EBT has expanded at Taco Bell's. Not to 8 or 9 locations, but in 2 years, EBT is now accepted in 165 locations in the country. That's right, folks. 143 of them are located in California alone. The remaining 22 are in Michigan. That is the stupidest thing I read today. My wife has got a look on her face. Oh, you should have seen it. I don't think I've ever been. I've only seen her that mad at me. She twisted up her face like, oh, man. Yes, that's right, folks. That is correct. EBT is now accepted in 165 Taco Bell locations. That's serious. 7 locations 2 years ago. 165 today. Also, in the next break, I want to talk about a story we covered yesterday in, in news, in headlines. And it is about the assault that happened to Representative Marianne Kahn and her federal lawsuit that was dismissed against the Hartford police. Well, we have a press statement or press release by the Hartford Police Union president, James Rutowski, as I call him, Ruddy. We will talk about that, and I will read that statement on the air in a little bit. It's lengthy, but I will get into it. He has responded to the federal government's dropping or dismissing of that case, so stand by for that. You probably didn't hear it anywhere because only NBC was the only place that actually asked for a statement. Based on that, no one else seemed to care. Let's go to Jim in Waterbury. How are you, sir?
Good, yes. I called Speaker Johnson in Washington because there is a bill, H.R. 458. It would ban foreign adversaries or sponsors of terrorism from acquiring public land or private land.
Okay.
The bill has been sitting in the House Committee of Foreign Affairs since January. So I called them yesterday about moving on that bill, but of course I got a recording.
What do you think the holdup is?
But, well, you know the situation. I don't have to explain that to you. But 4 states have really stepped up significantly to try to stop these people from buying more land. And one was actually a former Chinese general.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's that. And one day, if I ever have the honor to meet you, I've got a good boxing story to tell you.
Oh,
but see, I'm part Italian and I get emotional.
That's okay. I love a good boxing story. I should say
if I
was.
Ever meet you, if I ever had that honor, I'll tell, because I don't want to tie up
That's
people
okay.
on the phone that are calling about important things.
I appreciate that, and I hope that, Jim, I promise you, I hope that you and I get to talk, because I'm an old boxing head from back in the day. I know it's a little different now, and I haven't really covered it all that much, but I'm an old boxing head, so any story would be welcomed by you, sir. Thank you.
Oh, I love it. I love it. It pertains to my dad.
Okay, love to hear it. Thanks, Jim. I appreciate you. You got it. Let's go to Stephen Waterbury. How are you, Stephen?
Hey, good, Reese. How are you doing today?
I'm all right. What's up?
Good. Hey, I wonder how many South Koreans are going to lose their jobs at Taco Bell now. What's going to become of Taco Bell?
Well, okay, can I ask you a question, Stephen? When you heard this story, did you think that there were going to be Koreans that were locked up, or did you think the old usual?
I thought the old usual,
Yeah.
to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, but you also brought up Tesla.
Yes.
Guess who sold their Tesla and their Tesla stock?
Did Trump do that?
He might have, I don't know, but I'm thinking somebody that you talked to recently.
Oh, I don't know. Whom?
That
Oh,
would
I
be
do
Mr.
know.
McKinney.
Mr. McKinney. Yes. Actually, he wrote a whole article about how, yes, I did read that. He wrote an article that said how he got rid of his Tesla for moral reasons. Yes, I know. Look, as I said in the opening monologue, it's petulance you've never seen before, because you have a group of people who felt like they didn't matter, and then everything they've ever wanted went their way. It was almost too easy. You know what I mean? Can you imagine that? Do you have any children, Stephen?
I not that I'm aware
Okay.
of, no.
Okay. But okay, I'll just go with what would be considered the rudimentary view of children and how petulant they can get when they want what they want. Like, imagine any screaming kid at a grocery store, at a Big Y, who wants a candy that his mom tells him he can't have before dinner. And if this kid is rambunctious or doesn't listen to authority, he will lose his ever-loving mind, go kicking and screaming, running a tantrum. That's all this is. What I've always said was, and it's funny because my mom and my grandmother said it to me when I was a kid, if you keep giving to them when they ask, the moment you say no, they won't know how to react. Right? They'll look at you like you're crazy. What do you mean no? I don't even know that word. And that's what happens when you give somebody yes all the time.
Yeah, I really hope you take this in consideration. I would love for you to put that on YouTube. I think it would be really worthwhile for YouTube listeners, and I think it would expand people's minds, plus get you a bigger audience.
I'll take you up. I'll take you up on that. Thank you, Stephen. I appreciate you, Stevie V.
Appreciate it.
You got. Let's go to our good friend Steve. Fred, what's going on, sir?
Hey, I have a quick shot about who gets called doctor. I actually call myself Dr. Freddie H. Carroll here in Middletown.
Do you?
Other people call me that too. Yeah. Yeah, I have a saying, my friends and people who want to be my friend call me doctor. Of course, I'm a high school graduate, not to wave that in everyone's face. But Dr. Jill was getting a lot of news a while ago. And so Ben Shapiro, who I'm not a fan of, but he laid down some great material, who you call doctor all the time, Dr. Jill, Dr. Cosby, Dr. Kissinger, Dr. Moe, Dr. Larry, Dr. Curley. If you're having a heart attack, who do you call? That person is really doctor so-and-so. The rest of it, yeah.
Exactly. In fact, in keeping with yesterday's conversation, I've decided to refer to myself as Reese on the Radio Esquire.
There you go. Absolutely, dude. The Frederick Douglass of the 21st
That's
century.
correct.
You absolutely are that.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
You got
one more thing.
Yeah.
Wasn't that Miriam Khan? Was it Miriam?
Did I say I said it's the way that it's spelled, it looks like Mary Am, but I think it's Miriam.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
right. It's spelled Mary Am, but I think you're right. It's Miriam.
And do I have time? A quick Jesse Kelly report. He's, the fraud. So John Kennedy from Louisiana, we all love him.
Sure.
But RFK is the litmus test. He's coming down against RFK.
I heard.
One job is to restore trust in the CDC. not to make them trustworthy, just to fool us again. Okay, it's a lesson. All right.
You know, look, I think, and it's funny because I'll talk about that later on, but you're 100% right on that people are on the wrong side of this and they don't even know why they are. And it's about, look, the CDC let us down. To ask the American people to trust in the CDC today, even though we know that people are screaming, like he's the most popular cabinet official in Washington right now, at least in the Trump administration. And that polling does not flex. It is exactly what it is. And people are screaming in the hallways. When have you ever heard anybody in the hallway screaming about a Trump cabinet official? We love you.
Yeah.
Okay, I saw that in the halls of Washington yesterday.
Parents of vaccine-injured children.
Yep, indeed. Thank you, sir. And that's, again, that's the craziest part about all of this. If you saw that on television yesterday, with all of the news media screaming, are you going to resign? Are you going to resign? There are people shouting, we love you, Bobby. And it's women. It's mothers. Mothers. We love you, Bobby. We love what you're doing. Keep doing it. Keep fighting. You think that guy's going to resign? Are you kidding me? He's got a chorus of moms. Mothers. He's not going to quit. What, because of Elizabeth Warren? Did you see the numbers of the people who are getting tens of millions of dollars? Those numbers are insane. I saw them this morning. I'm like, damn. No wonder these people hate this guy. The more he chops that fat off the CDC and HHS, the more he does that, the more he puts an end to all of that. Just, everybody gets a green light. You get a green light. You get approval. You get approval. While other companies have to sit 7, 8, 9 years. Anybody remember that? We used to have a time where people had to wait 7, 8, 9 years to be approved by the FDA. And now, FDA. Now we look around and we find out that things are getting just shuttled through. Let's go to Bob in Middletown before we take a break. How are you, Bob?
Good. How are you, Reese?
What's up, sir?
There's just something came to mind. Sorry to get off topic. You remember Renee Coleman Mitchell?
I don't know why that doesn't ring a bell. Enlighten me.
She had some racist thing with the governor and Paul Mounts. You remember? Her and another girl. I can't remember the other one's name, and it kind of just fell out of the news. I was wondering if you knew what was up with that.
Nope, but I will, in fact, give me 1 second. I appreciate you. Give me the name of the individual again.
Renee Coleman Mitchell was one, and I can't remember the other one's name.
I can
They had grievances with the gov.
Coleman Mitchell. I'm sure I can find something on it, and especially my actually, look, it just popped right up. Look at that. Okay, I'll look into it. I will definitely look into it. Former Connecticut DPH chief Coleman Mitchell's settles, it says. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but yeah, settles termination suit. So apparently there was a settlement. So I'll look into it.
Real quietly.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you, sir.
You got it, man. Thank you so much.
Have a good weekend, brother.
You too.
Take care.
All right, when we come back, I want to read the statement from Sergeant Ratowski, James Ratowski, the Hartford Police Union president, as it relates to Representative Maryam Khan, who filed a federal lawsuit against the Hartford Police Department because she was attacked by some mentally unstable person. And I want to read the statement. It's lengthy, but I want to read it. And it's very impactful. I'm stunned that this didn't get traction because it should have. What was done to the Hartford police, and we're not talking about it as what the police officers were made to endure. This smear campaign, as they're putting it, is important to note. So we'll break that down when we get back as well. And don't forget, at 4 o'clock, we're going to be talking to Representative Greg Howard about the Doug Collins article in The Day that for some odd reason now has led to Doug Collins being let go from that publication. And I'll read one of the articles in a bit that showed that there may have been a little bit of animus between these two men when we break it down. So stand by. More news, more views, and you can shake a stick at. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Why choose Affordable Baths? Because they're the only ones that give you the price up front. The other guys don't. The other guys install roofs, siding, windows, and doors. Affordable Baths installs bathrooms, just bathrooms, and they use Kohler fixtures. The other guys don't. Affordable Baths has a showroom that you can see, feel, and touch what you're buying. With the other guys, you'll never see your salesperson after you sign the deal. At Affordable Baths, they're with you every step of the way. So the question is not why would you buy from Affordable Baths, it's when will you work with Affordable Baths. Keep it affordable at AffordableBaths.com.
I'm Kristen Press. And I'm Tobin Heath. We're World Cup winners, Olympians, and the hosts of The Recap Show.
Every week, we sit down with the icons, disruptors, and game changers on the field and beyond it to talk victories, heartbreaks, and everything in between.
We've built a space where athletes, change makers, and people creating the future of women's sports can show up and show off as their full, unapologetic selves.
Follow and listen to The Recap Show wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
And now, a WTIC News Update.
3:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. A serious crash down in Westbrook as the north and southbound lanes of Interstate 95 closed have been for hours now. That crash occurring between exits 65 and 64 on the southbound side and the reverse on the northbound side. Crash involving a tractor trailer left wood all over the road. In the meantime, in Rocky Hill, they're still cleaning up the mess from a crash early this morning involving a tanker and cooking oil. This one's 91 southbound between exits 23 and 22S. Right lane still out with that. State police have arrested a Stamford man after he allegedly engaged troopers in a pursuit along Interstate 84 Thursday night. They say Jeffrey Latour was reported first by Massachusetts State Police, having entered Connecticut during a pursuit there. Troopers say he slowed down, then accelerated to speeds over 90 miles an hour before they deployed stop sticks and boxed him in on the highway in Vernon. They also say he was in possession of a loaded handgun with a high-capacity magazine. Troopers at their crews at the scene of a hazmat in Wallingford today. 200 gallons of phosphoric acid had spilled at Northwood Industrial Park Road West. No injuries reported. State Department of Energy and Environmental Protection on hand for that. Employers added just 22,000 jobs last month to the labor market cooled. The department saying today that hiring also decelerated from 79,000. And President Trump issuing an executive order to rename the Department of Defense as the Department of War. WTIC News Time is 3:32. Here's the forecast.
Warm and rather humid for the rest of the afternoon with clouds and sunshine. We'll top out in the mid-80s and partly cloudy for tonight down to 66. Very warm and sticky for tomorrow. Clouds, some sun, a couple of showers, and a few heavy gusty storms around during the afternoon. High tomorrow, 84. We'll have some rain tomorrow night lasting into Sunday morning, drying out Sunday afternoon. The high 74. This is meteorologist John Feerick in the WTIC Weather Center.
80 degrees, sunny skies in Hartford. Dow's down 226 points. NASDAQ's down 27. S&P is down 24. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars Lose the Weight Stop Smoking Early Bird Special $49.99. Seminars Thursday, September 18th, Hilton Garden in Hartford North, Bradley International Airport, Windsor. Weight loss 5:30 p.m. Stop Smoking Seminar 8 p.m. or Saturday, September 20th, Holiday Inn Express Southington. Weight loss 11 a.m. Stop Smoking Seminar 2 p.m.
Never liked braces? Invisalign is an alternative that may be right for you. It's removable, more comfortable, and reduces the risk of developing cavities and gum disease. Get your dream smile discreetly and easily. Call Columbia Dental at 860-645-0111.
How did you get your tripping breakers fixed so fast?
ALO Home Services, same-day electrical. I gave them a call, and they had a technician on their way. They even sent the technician's real-time location, so I knew when they would be here.
Did you say same day? That's crazy.
If you need same-day electrical, call, click, or text today and say hello, ALO. Call for details. License number HIC 628926, P102776688, S1041347, D104014665, S3308699, SM3004646, E1185643.
Mint is still $15 a month for premium wireless. And if you haven't made the switch yet, here are 15 reasons why you should. 1, it's $15 a month. 2, seriously, it's $15 a month. 3, no big contrast. 4, I use it. 5, my mom uses it. Are you playing me off? That's what's happening, right? Okay.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, $15 per month equivalent required. New customer offer first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Here's the tale of the daily med fill. Same old pharmacy, same old bill. But those prices kept rising higher still.
Till the savings wrangler rode in. Cool as can be. Tap Good RX. Saving massively.
No plan? Don't matter none. Up to 80% off. Deals are done.
Discounts hitting harder than Ma's chili. Dang. That one little app does all the rest.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
Check Good RX. Good RX is not insurance.
It's Sarah Samuels, co-host of Retirement Income Source, heard Sunday mornings at 9:30 a.m. and again at 12:30 p.m. In retirement, you know it's all about the income, and that's real income generated from interest and dividends. Each week, David Scranton and I discuss ways you can help maximize income generation in your retirement strategy so you can make the most of your golden years. Tune in to the Retirement Income Source Sundays at 9:30 a.m. and 12:30 p.m.
Retirement Income Source with David Scranton is a paid program.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Your home equity could vanish almost overnight, stolen by scammers who forge a deed and transfer it out of your name. The FBI calls it house stealing, and the worst part is you may not know it until it's too late. Find out if you're already a victim now at HomeTitleLock.com. Use promo code RADIO for a 30-day free trial, a title scan, and access to a title specialist, a $250 value. Go to HomeTitleLock.com now. Promo code RADIO.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me, they calm me down, they make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com. Actual price will depend on product and subscription. For compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more, 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your... Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
I don't want to say anything, but it's our birthday. I'm sure you knew that already, and I'm sure you've got a wonderful present. 100 years, by the way.
We're back. Reese on the radio. Yesterday, I reported that the U.S. court dismissed Connecticut Muslim lawmakers' discrimination suit against police. A federal court dismissed that civil rights suit by Representative Miriam Khan, in which she claimed that Hartford police officers discriminated against her by failing to respond appropriately when she was assaulted while leaving a prayer service in Hartford with family members about 2 years ago. And to lay this out, even though I wasn't there, what the complaint pretty much suggested was, as the prayer event was letting out, officers as well left their stations, right? They were there, of course, as security, and when the event was over, police officers dispersed. And then as Representative Khan was going to her car, she was accosted by a deranged individual who tried to kiss her, and when she, of course, pushed him off, he got angry and, of course, assaulted her. A young man, in fact, according to the reports, he was younger than me, though. Jason Spencer, who was a rideshare delivery guy, noticed it and came to her aid. He, Jason Spencer, was later charged because video evidence suggested that while he was trying to subdue this individual, he was kicking him in the head. I don't want to get into that. But after all of that took place, Representative Miriam Khan filed a federal lawsuit against the Hartford police. And that has been dismissed after an investigation by several entities by the federal government. It's been dismissed. And Sergeant James Rutowski, who's the Hartford Police Union president, sent out a press release yesterday, Wednesday. And this was it. And the fact that it didn't get any attention, I'm stunned, but I'm glad he sent it to me. It reads, as the president of the Hartford Police Union, I am compelled to address the ongoing saga perpetrated by State Representative Miriam Khan, whose baseless accusations against our dedicated officers have now been rightfully dismissed by a federal judge. This letter serves as a resolute show of support for the men and women of the Hartford Police Department who have been vindicated time and time again through rigorous investigations, only to face continued smears from a politician more interested in grandstanding than truth. Dear Representative Khan, it is with profound disappointment and outright disdain that I write to you the following the U.S. District Judge Sarah F. Russell's dismissal of your frivolous federal lawsuit against the city of Hartford and our officers on September 2nd, 2025. Your claims of bias, misconduct, and discrimination allegations that have been thoroughly debunked by Internal Affairs, the Civilian Police Review Board, and now a federal court represent nothing more than a calculated campaign of lies designed to elevate your personal profile at the expense of hardworking public servants and the community you purport to represent. Our officers responded professionally to the horrific assault you endured on June 28, 2023, ensuring the perpetrator was swiftly arrested, charged, and ultimately convicted. Body cam footage, witness statements, and exhaustive reviews have all confirmed their actions were appropriate, with only minor procedural notes on report documentation leading to remedial training for one officer. Yet, you have chosen to perpetuate falsehoods, accusing them of systemic bias against women, Muslims, and people of color without a shred of evidence. This not only undermines the trust between law enforcement and the residents of Hartford, but also sows division in a city already grappling with real challenges. Worse still, your ridiculous grandstanding has forced the city of Hartford to squander precious resources defending against your meritless suit. Money that could have funded critical programs like youth initiatives, mental health services, or community policing efforts that truly benefit the neighborhoods you represent in Hartford's District 5. The Hartford Police Union stands firmly behind our officers who risk their lives daily to protect this city, including you. We renew our call for public apology for the damage you've inflicted on our reputation and morale. It's time to end this charade, Representative Khan. Focus on serving Hartford with integrity, not exploiting it for headlines. James Rutowski, Hartford Police Union President. And I am going to give that one an applause. And I don't think it even, of course I know it's not going to get a response, but to his point here at the end about the apology, this notion that state representatives are here to create a rift between law enforcement and the community that they serve needs to be checked immediately. It has to be checked. And the reason why is because, I've said this before, and people haven't made this connection. If you were to talk to Representative Khan about January 6th, she would be throwing in your faces, especially conservatives' faces. Don't you care about cops? Don't you care about the cops that were assaulted? While at home, admonishing Hartford police and screaming at them saying that they're racist and bigoted towards people of color and religion. That's all of that. It serves no good. And as he puts it, it is for personal gain. Who could that have possibly benefited by making that claim? Knowing the story, it's not like no one else can pick up on this. We know that the woman was assaulted. That's without a doubt. We know who assaulted her. We even know the picture. We've seen that guy with the tattoo between his eyes. Everybody's seen him. To think that anyone would read this story and even find a connection that says, yeah, I can see how the cops would be culpable here, is ridiculous. And it wasn't just grandstanding. It was opportunistic. At best, it was scapegoating. She wasn't going to get a dime out of the lunatic who attacked her. He's meaningless. It sounds crazy, but she would sooner punish the cops who showed up to her aid than to ask for the maximum for the person who assaulted her. Are there any reports about her showing up to court? Saying, make that racist, bigoted man tried to accost me. He tried to assault me. Did she scream racism then? No. At all. Instead, she found it was an angle. It's so pathetic. It's great that it was dismissed. But let's be honest, if it had been anywhere else in the world, what do you think would have happened? If this were D.C., what would have happened? Officers would have been dragged down to that federal courtroom. You know it. You know it. Thank goodness it was. Dave is in Brantford. How are you, Dave?
Okay, how to get off. A little bit off topic, but yesterday's guest, Fred McKinney,
yes,
gets to a problem that I see way too much of lately, and it's credentialism is what it's called.
Okay.
That if you don't have the PhD or you don't have all the degrees, you don't know what you're talking about.
I've dealt with
we
that.
Kind of run I'm sure you do. I do also. I never, I got a certain degree, which, I talked about it yesterday, and I was a little jealous. I never got a PhD because you are dismissed. You don't know enough.
But you know what?
And yet you can learn.
Dave, there's an important notion. No, I'll let you finish, but there's another part about this that also, and again, it's not just the credential stuff, right? The credentialism. There's also that how you cannot opine about certain things because you're not of that particular group. Like, I used to make this argument all the time when people used to talk about COVID and police brutality because they were all happening at the same time, George Floyd and COVID. Because on one level, you couldn't talk about the mask mandates or the vaccine because you weren't a doctor. But people who had never been cops could tell you about policing. You know what I mean?
So Robert Kennedy is running into that a lot now.
Yeah.
He's often posited, you're not a doctor, you couldn't possibly know.
Indeed.
And yet, my specialty is chemicals and plant diseases. But almost all of that stuff is transferable,
right.
The way molecules behave, to human diseases, and the concepts, the principles of life are the same. I just want to say, so he was a little highfalutin. You have no right to opine on subjects that I've got a degree that says I'm a genius and you don't know nothing. It was very painful. Listen, I have a book. This summer I spent a bunch of time reading about black holes in the expanding universe and stuff.
Okay.
You say, wow, that's pretty weird. So one of them I got is called Fear of a Black Universe.
Ah.
Stephen Alexander.
I know
that
book.
It was more or less because it was in the physics section with all the black hole stuff. So it turns out the Fear of a Black Universe, Stephen Alexander is a black professor.
Yes, I know the book.
Physicist.
I know the book.
And his theory is, there's principles of relativity, quantum mechanics, and emergence. And he's arguing there's a fourth important principle, the principle of blackness, because he's black. And his status as an outsider enables him to see what others have not. It is only by embracing the perspectives of marginalized people that physics will produce breakthroughs. Can you imagine saying my physics is better because I'm black? And
wait, hold on, Dave. First of all,
almost what McKinney was saying yesterday.
No, but I just want to say, first of all, I appreciate you because you unwittingly told me you got duped by the title of a book. But I love that you found it.
By the title of the book, but the Dewey Decimal System it is a book about physics in the universe.
No, I know.
But it turned out to be more of a sociological book on the pain of being a black professor in a white world.
Perfect.
Nerds,
No, it's one of those things that I call the perfect accident. You know what I mean? So, right, in it, you gain a wealth of knowledge and a little bit of parody at the same time, which I think is fantastic.
Well, I thought it was a Friday topic. Thanks for letting me on.
You got it, buddy, as usual. Right? Dave is on point, as usual. We got to take a break. We'll come back. We got traffic and weather coming up. Matt Benz is in for Bob Larson today. Can you believe I got the schedule now? I figured it out. We'll return. More news, more views than you can shake a stick at. Plus, our guest is coming up, Representative Greg Howard. When we return, it's Reese on the Radio on WTIC NewsTalk 1080.
Life unfolds in ways you never quite expect. Starting a new business, getting remarried, being hurt on the job, or through personal injury. Each time, you're left searching for someone new to trust. But what if you had a full-service law firm that knows you and a firm that can represent all of your legal needs? With BPS Lawyers, you get more than a lawyer. You get a full-service law firm. Visit bpslawyers.com. BPS Lawyers, your lawyers for life. Proud full-service law partner of UConn Athletics. Nick Payne-Dearis is responsible for the content of this ad.
Hi, Joel Johnson here with Johnson Brunetti. Hey, retirement income. Are you sure that you're maximizing your retirement income? Get the retirement income checklist from us, absolutely free. Text the word checklist to 1-800-705-1232. Again, call or text the word checklist to 1-800-705-1232. A checklist to maximize your retirement income.
Investment advisory services offered through JB Capital, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance products offered through JN Financial, LLC.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling.
I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hi, I'm Andrew McCollum, CEO of Philo, the streaming TV company that's proud to be different. At Philo, we put the audience first. It sounds simple, but how often are you frustrated just trying to watch TV? I run a streaming company, and even I can't figure it out. From hidden fees to impossible to break contracts to dozens of confusing apps, TV has gotten way too hard. So we set out to make it better. You want to watch live TV from the channels you've always loved, like Discovery, A&E, Nickelodeon, and more? Philo's got you covered. You want to discover something new from our library of over 80,000 movies and shows? Then save every episode for up to a year so you can skip all the ads? No problem. Your favorite show is over, and you want to take a break from your subscription? We've made it as easy as possible, and you can still enjoy more than 100 free channels. We built so you can love the way you watch TV for a price you can afford. Because at Philo, we're TV fans too. Head to philo.tv/Andrew to start a free trial and see for yourself. That's philo.tv/Andrew.
It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
I keep forgetting to turn that microphone on. Anyway, like I said, when we return, we've got Representative Greg Howard on the program. He'll be talking about the Doug Collins issue over at the newspaper or the publication called The Day. Talking about that little back and forth between them. I've got an article, the last article that he wrote, Collins wrote about Howard, where Collins refers to MAGA folks as a cancer, which I found interesting. And I'm going to talk to him about that and about a lot of things. In fact, Lori actually mentioned something in the chat room that I will ask about because there is a belief amongst many in Connecticut by Republicans and MAGA folks that are concerned about whether or not there's an embracing of MAGA folks, Trump voters in the state. I don't even need to go into some of the names, but we'll talk about that a little bit as well. So stand by for that. That's coming up very, very soon. Plus, our Between Rounds winner is also announced. Let's take Steve in Andover real quick before we go to break. Hello, Steve. No? Steve has stepped away from his phone. Okay, that's happened. It's not supposed to go as planned, folks. It never does. That's the second day you got the name of the fill-in traffic guy's name correct, Matteo says. You're getting better and better. Because I have it written over here with the date. Finally, somebody. By the way, they've actually made it a mental note to email me the names of the people filling in. I'm so happy that they did. And you know what? Here's why. Can I tell you a little inside baseball? Look, these guys, John Silva, Mark Christopher, and whoever's doing weather, they are a part of the show. I incorporated our sponsors. They're a part of the show. They are living, breathing parts of the show. Between rounds, especially. We got Columbia Dental. They're all a part of this show. So when it's important for me that I know them because I need to sort of weave in all of these people and have it just flow naturally. Now, I'm assuming, not Mark Christopher, sorry, Roland. Now, Bob Larson is officially the meteorologist for the show, right? He's just out or he's doing
I don't know.
You don't know yet, okay.
I don't know.
Okay, so I'm assuming that because we don't know, because we get a list every week now of who's filling in. And I'm happy that they're doing it because I want to make sure that, one, those guys get their props, they get their respect, and that I mentioned them. Mark Christopher, who's a part of the show. And if I can, for a minute, I'm just going to rehash a little bit of yesterday. Please, folks, listen to the end of the bit yesterday about the whole interview, Mark Christopher crushes the end of that. Everybody is texting me going, Mark Christopher earned his paycheck with the Ashanti tribe reference yesterday. It was killer. I can't stop listening to it. It's my favorite part. And I literally did get dizzy when he said, I was laughing so hard, I was getting dizzy. That's how good it was. So, that's the reason why. So all of these members are part of the show, and I appreciate all of them. They are contributors to the show. They're part of the Reese on the Radio fam, whether they like it or not. Speaking of which, let's get to weather and traffic. Matt Benz, as I said, is filling in for Bob Larson, and Mark Christopher. I have to say, the creme de la creme of radio and segue on this program is in the BPS Traffic Center. Mark, they loved yesterday's Ashanti tribe thing. That's the best. You couldn't get quicker. You're always quick, but that one was absolutely over the top, my friend.
I think Ashanti's married. Is she married to R. Kelly now?
No, Nelly.
She's
dating Nelly. R. Kelly's in prison.
Yes. Hello. Nelly.
Yeah. You think he needs to get to movies more, folks?
Yeah, really.
That's okay.
Sorry.
Yes, Nelly. Well, at least I think, Roland, she is with Nelly, right?
Yeah, she is. Correct.
Yeah, she's with
I
Nelly.
think they just had a baby or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I
they
didn't
just
know
had
that.
a baby. So
All
there
right.
you go. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound side of 91's heavy, 36 down to 32 IMB, and again from 25 S&N down to between 23 and 22. Right lane is out from that earlier tanker truck accident out there. They're cleaning that mess up. Northbound 91, a little tight, 24 up to 25, 26. After that, you're moving well up into Windsor. Westbound 84, slowing 57, pretty much right out to 45 Flatbush Avenue on the Hartford West Hartford line. 84 eastbound slowing 44 Prospect Oakwood into the tunnel. 2 westbound slowing 1D up to the 84 West Merge. 3 northbound slowing from the Putnam Bridge up to 13 B and C. If you are traveling into Waterbury, 84 eastbound sluggish traffic 17 up to the Mixmaster. Westbound 84 10 up 26 up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. South on the Parkway, a little slow by 60. Northbound Parkway slowing 58 up to exit 59. Both sides of 95 still shut down in Westbrook at exit 64 from that early morning crash. Also, the overpass, Route 145, is shut down there once again because of that accident. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather. Warm and rather sticky out there for the rest of the afternoon with some sunshine. We'll top out in the mid-80s and partly cloudy tonight. Sticky down to 66. Very warm and humid for tomorrow. Cloudy to partly sunny. A couple of heavy gusty thunderstorms around during the afternoon. Make it last into the evening, the high 84. Then we'll have some rain tomorrow night, the low 61. More rain Sunday morning, drying out in the afternoon. Some sunshine returning up to 74. This is meteorologist John Feerick in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on
What do you
the
mean,
air
Ferrick?
and
It's supposed to be
100
Matt
years of
Benz.
Serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
It's 4 o'clock. Hartford temperature 82 degrees. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Well, as you heard in the traffic there, section of Interstate 95 in Westbrook remains closed. That was due to a multi-vehicle crash that happened earlier this morning. The highway closed in both directions in the area of exits 64 and 65. Tractor trailer had dropped its load on the highway. There were injuries reported. And in addition, as Mark told you, transportation officials say there was damage to the Route 145 overpass there, and that is closed as well. It's been over a year since a Connecticut State Police trooper was killed on Interstate 84 in Southington while conducting a traffic stop. Earlier today, colleagues, family, and state officials honored Trooper First Class Aaron Pelletier by helping dedicate a bridge in his name. The Jude Lane Bridge will now carry Pelletier's name. Colonel Daniel Lockman is the commanding officer of the Connecticut State Police.
To Aaron's family, we are here with you. We carry your grief with our own. We continue to be amazed by your strength, and we promise that you will never walk alone. Aaron will always be a part of our law enforcement family. His name will never fade from our hearts, nor from the roll call of heroes.
The driver of the vehicle who struck Pelletier pled guilty earlier this year in the hit and run, where he was also found to be under the influence of drugs. The U.S. is ordering the deployment of 10 fighter jets to Puerto Rico to combat drug cartels. Correspondent Charlie D'Agata says they're zeroing in on Venezuela.
The questions that are being raised now and will probably be raised in Congress is where do we stand in terms of this conflict? Is it an anti-drug or anti-narco terrorist operation? Is it a sort of undeclared declaration of war against Venezuela? Or is there an idea of regime change?
CBS News has obtained a government memo from Homeland Security that asks the Pentagon to make space for hundreds of federal agents in Illinois ahead of an expected immigration roundup in Chicago.
How do you spell fascist? I-C-E!
Chanting can be heard outside the facility that the mayor of Broadview, Illinois, says will become the primary hub for federal immigration operations, running 7 days a week for at least 45 days. Activists call the conditions inside inhumane, pointing to reports of people being held here for days without beds, blankets, or basic hygiene.
Reporter Darius Johnson in Chicago. The New Orleans police chief says if President Trump offers the National Guard to help fight crime, she won't turn down the offer.
Since taking office, New Orleans Police Chief Ann Kirkpatrick has driven crime levels in New Orleans to some of their lowest ever.
This superintendent's going to work with anyone and everyone.
She says if the White House sends the National Guard here, she'll find a way to work with the troops.
I'm going to collaborate no matter what.
She's already welcomed state police and federal agents to assist, but not everyone's happy.
We will fight the powers that be.
Protesters say it threatens the city's sovereignty. Dave Cohen for CBS News, New Orleans.
Wall Street, the Dow down 220 points, NASDAQ down 7, S&P down 20. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Erectile dysfunction affects nearly 50% of men over age 50.
1 minute.
Men affected, finding a trusted provider to treat the condition isn't so simple. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice, and I'm excited to announce the opening of our newest location of Northeast Men's Health in Warwick, Rhode Island. As a Promenic affiliate, Northeast Men's Health can offer men with ED the latest treatment protocols, which are shown in medical studies to be effective in well over 90% of men. And unlike groups that only offer wave therapy or online pharmacies that just sell pills, we offer a variety of treatments to help get you the results you want. You should also know that Northeast Men's Health is a true medical practice, which means our providers have access to a complete range of treatment options to get you back on track. So call Northeast Men's Health today. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes a medical consult, blood work, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com.
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, folks, stand by a little bit. We will have Representative Greg Howard on the phone. We'll talk to him about something in the headlines today, but Doug Collins of The Day, who was let go from that publication because of an article that was written by the aforementioned Greg Howard. We'll talk to him about that, and, of course, some other articles. Apparently, there was another article from April 6th called The Troubling Repost Blamed on Unnamed Staffer that Doug Collins had a problem with. We'll get to that in a minute. Now it's time for this.
Savory, flavory, bagel, deli, and bakery. Between rounds, between rounds.
And congratulations goes to Miss Vanessa T. of Sandy Hook, or in Sandy Hook. I don't know if she's from there. I just know she lives there. In Sandy Hook, she is our recipient of a dozen bagels a month for 6 months, courtesy of Between Rounds, the Bagel Bakery and Sandwich Cafe. We sent her an email. By the way, when you win, look out for your email that comes directly from me. Nobody else is sending that email. I don't have a staff. If I had that kind of money, we'd have moved yesterday. Thinking about starting a GoFundMe. This is so damn expensive. Anyway, but I will send you an email in the day to let you know that you've won. If you would like to win, you got to go to reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com. To enter, you got to put in your telephone number and your date of birth. That must be in there, of course, with all the information. You must live in the state of Connecticut, and you cannot have won within the last 6 months. So you can enter every 6 months, after you win. But you got to go to reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com. Like I said, when we come back, we will have Greg Howard, representative in Hartford, in Stonington, I think. And we'll talk to him about this article. This article that was written back in April about Greg Howard was interesting. Here's a pull quote from it. Indeed, the courts and their constitution-given authority are a thin line now separating our beloved democracy from the ascending Trump authoritarianism. That's what he wrote. Another party writes, Republican Greg Howard of Stonington last week's repost on the official state legislative Facebook page, an attack on the authority of the courts from senior White House aide Stephen Miller. And he then goes on to talk about how these statements, these free speech statements, are a cancer running through the Republican Party or the GOP. A cancer. Questioning the court's authority is now cancerous. This has been written on the pages of the day. All right, whatever. Let's get another check of weather and traffic in the BPS Traffic Center. I don't know who's
to the Route 2 ramps. 9 northbound slowing Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. 84 westbound in Southington delays 32 to 31. Westbound 31. Westbound 84 in Cheshire tied up from 26 up to the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound in Waterbury tight 17 up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. 95 southbound still shut down at exit 64 in Westbrook because of that early morning crash. Northbound in Westbrook at exit 64, left lane is shut. Stay to the right there. And the Horse Hill Road, Route 145, the overpass that goes over I-95 in Westbrook is also shut down because of that early morning accident. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
Brought to you by Staples.
WTIC weather.
There's some sunshine out there for the rest of the afternoon. Pretty warm afternoon for early September. Temperatures up into the mid-80s. Humidity on the high side as well. We'll have a partly cloudy sky tonight, down to 66. Tomorrow, very warm and humid. We'll start out dry, but we'll see a couple of showers and thunderstorms around during the afternoon and early evening. Storms capable of producing damaging wind gusts, drenching downpours, perhaps even an isolated tornado. High tomorrow into the mid-80s. And we'll have some rain tomorrow night, down to 61. Some rain Sunday morning, and then we dry out Sunday afternoon. Clouds give way to a little bit of sunshine, a high 74. Right now, it's 84 in Newington, 81 in Manchester, and it's 81 in Hartford. This is meteorologist John Feerick in the WTIC Weather Center.
Eggland's Best, the only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition, available in so many delicious varieties. Classic, cage-free, organic, free-range, and pasture-raised. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Talk has the power to save lives. Join WTIC News Talk 1080 on Wednesday, September 10th at 7 for I'm Listening, a special broadcast event featuring some of the biggest names in music and sports and insight from some of the most respected mental health professionals, spreading awareness about mental health and the message that talk saves lives. I'm Listening is hosted by Carson Daly with Cynthia Erivo, Kane Brown, Kylie Minogue, Benny Blanco, and more. You're not alone. Join us Wednesday, September 10th at 7 for I'm Listening on WTIC News Talk 1080 and on the Odyssey app. For more information, visit imlistening.org. Brought to you by the Connecticut Prevention Network. Following I'm Listening, we will continue the conversation with the host of WTIC's Mental Wellness, Anne-Marie Matthew, a licensed marriage and family therapist. Hear this local hour only on WTIC News Talk 1080 from 8 till 9.
Come see what makes McLean's award-winning assisted living and memory care in Simsbury feel like home. You're invited to our open house on Monday, September 23rd. No RSVP needed. Stop by, take a tour, meet our dedicated team, and experience the warm, vibrant community that makes McLean special. Whether you're just starting your search or ready to make a move, we're here to help. Prefer a one-on-one visit? We also offer private tours to fit your schedule. Learn more at exploremclean.org. McLean, care you can trust, a community you'll love.
You're listening to Leaf Filter, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your action today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, welcome to the program, folks. We are back, and as promised, Representative Greg Howard is on the line. Thanks for joining us on short notice, sir.
Hey, good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
So let's get into this, but apparently, because apparently you and David Collins, I called him Doug, David Collins, formerly of The Day, have had a couple of run-ins editorially in the past. April was the last article, and now apparently there's another article that you were subject to with Mr. Collins that is now, I guess, under review or has been published or hasn't been published. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Sure. So David Collins is an opinion writer for The Day. He's long been known as a left Democrat opinion writer. He has a habit of attacking Republicans and just about every other piece lately in the last 5 or 6 years has had Trump in it. But in any event, he emailed me last Wednesday morning, over a week ago, because Senator Blumenthal and I have been at odds over. Senator Blumenthal's been at podiums and essentially, targeting ICE agents on the street for their failures as a Connecticut senator to fix our immigration problem. But in any event, Dave Collins a week ago asked me for a comment on some, for additional comments on some comments that I made relevant to that. So I told him I would respond to him, provided he reported accurately. He took offense to that, and I said, well, you can be offended if you want to, but at the end of the day, you have reported, you have put an opinion piece in the paper before saying you reached out for me for comment, and I didn't respond. And in fact, I had responded. There was a timestamped email of my response. I sent it to editors, and they made him correct it. But Reese, this is the game, right? People have already read it, and then they go back and correct it online.
Right.
And then again, he posted an article last year and said, Howard is, unwilling to utter any criticism of Donald Trump. Well, that's not true. There's things I disagree with the president on, and I have criticized those things publicly. In fact, they were quoted in his own paper. Yet he reported non-factual things once again. So I reminded him of that, and then I gave him an answer. But this time, I wasn't going to play his game anymore. This time, I CC'd the editors from the beginning. So it's no more, we corrected it after the fact. And then I told the editors, or suggested to them that if it goes out this way, with me being misrepresented again, they're on the hook. It's not, we fixed it after. You knew ahead of time. I don't know what happened after that, but I'm led to believe he wrote the opinion piece as he normally would. The editors took a look at it and said, this is not what Representative Howard said. You're misrepresenting his position. And something transpired, and he was terminated. But look, and this is what I've said many times in the last 48 hours. I'm an elected official, and I think that there's a partnership between elected officials and the media. They should never be allies. They should be partners.
Right.
And partnerships work like this. I, as an elected official, have a responsibility to that partnership to be transparent and responsive. They, the media, whether it be radio, TV, or print, have a responsibility to be accurate. That's it. And that's all I've ever asked. If I misstep, if I do something wrong, you were referencing the April article, with the post on my Facebook page, and that was posted by a staffer who has access to my Facebook page, who inadvertently meant to post it on his own, which of course he can do. He's a private citizen, inadvertently, because he manages my page, put it on there. I take responsibility for that. I don't fault David Collins or The Day for calling attention to it. I'm the elected official. That person works for me, and I take responsibility. I clarified the record that I don't agree with that particular.
Well, let's not, Representative. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. A lot of people don't know about this, so I want, if I can. No. I totally appreciate you being as transparent as you suggested you are. I want to get into a little bit of the details of that, because this is an important note, and this is what I noticed even with the little bit that I gathered today. And look, I'm not going to lie. I am research guy, right? So it only takes me 15 minutes and I get to the bottom of anything. In that April article, I already knew that this guy had it out for you. I needed no other evidence of that. Like, this guy had his sights on you. How did I know?
Crafted flats from Pizza Hut are just $5 each.
What the heck was that?
PM. Choose from 5 hand.
I'm sorry.
Recipes you won't
Forgive
want to
me.
share.
That's my fault. That was my fault.
That's okay.
I was like, I was panicking.
I thought it was you. Yeah, that was me. My apologies. Okay, so this is the reason why. I can always tell, and I tell everybody, be careful of what you write. unless it is being intentional. So let me give people a sort of an insight into David Collins. He wrote this about you, about the article, about the piece in Facebook. He also apologized, but said he was not going to resign, as one constituent suggested, because of a mistake by a staffer. The lawmaker, who is also a Stonington police officer, told me in an email that he was satisfied that the posting on the site was a mistake and, in fact, was taken down before he had become aware of it on Sunday. He says, I take him at his word and believe he was probably as offended by the attack on the judiciary authority as so many of the rest of us were. Making that assumption is ridiculous. But then he says this: how could anyone make such a colossal mistake? I'm like, an enormous provocative opinion in the name of the legislator you work for, apparently without permission from anyone. So he's outraged that someone said something he disagreed with. No one asked for the heads. No one asked for any violence. The post just agreed with what Stephen Miller posted and reposted that, which again, Stephen Miller, or even your staffer for that matter, has the constitutional right to post. But he wanted your resignation. He wanted the firing of the staffer. He wanted you admonished in the public. I mean, hell, he probably wanted you tarred and feathered. I immediately took from his article that you were a pariah. Why? Because he then goes on to talk about how Stephen Miller's rhetoric is a cancer on Connecticut politics, particularly in the GOP.
So there's a couple things that I think listeners should understand, and you're exactly right. I've been a target of his from day one, and day one for me was November of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened was I ran for state rep. As you said, I'm a police officer, and let's face it, the Democrats' most hated group of people is police officers.
Indeed.
They won't tell you that, but that is exactly what it is. And that was at the height of a lot of police stuff. I decided in late July to run for office. I had no political background. I never served on a board or a commission, anything. I'd had enough. And I've had enough. They spit in the face of a profession that I dedicated my adult life to. I've been on the job for 23 years now, honorably, and I took exception to it. The state representative incumbent that we had in our district was a Democrat, of course, and she and the Democrats before her had occupied that seat as a blue seat for almost 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Under any political math, I should not win, but I did, and they have been doing everything they can to try to get me to resign since then. It's ironic, isn't it, Reese, that the people who claim, that we have to live with the consequence of an election, and elections are important, and you can't deny elections. The minute that somebody gets elected they don't want, they do everything they can to try to overrule the will of the people, and it's only gotten worse for them. In 2024, this district went +10 for Harris, and I won it by 16 points as a Republican.
Damn.
That enrages them, and it enrages people like David Collins. So they do two things. They try to get you to resign by doing things like you're talking about, or they try to
nitpicking,
go after your family and make your life so miserable that you say it's not worth it anymore, and that's never going to happen. And I just stand up to him. I square my shoulders and I say, let's go. The bottom line is I'm right on the issues. What he wanted, he wanted me to out the name of my staffer.
Yes.
That's not the staffer's responsibility. I'm the one who takes the heat. And what happens
And you did.
internally is between me and him. And I take the heat. And I'm willing to take the heat. I have no problem taking
No,
the heat.
you took the heat. And I think what it was this capitulation that Collins was looking for them is the pound of flesh, right? And then what is it, what does the flesh-eating virus always do? It wants more, right? Because if you capitulate, there is no end. It doesn't stop. It's like, we got him to do this. We'll do more. Now, I got to ask you this because, I got to kind of put you on your feet a little bit here. Now, I don't know this about you, and again, I've never met you, but I know about this story, and I know a little bit about yours. But is there, honestly, a apprehension to embrace MAGA folks in the state of Connecticut? That is a strong criticism of the Connecticut GOP writ large. And it's not just about Ben Proto. It's just about conservatives or conservatism in Connecticut, that there's a couple of people who are a little tight-lipped about whether or not they endorse the president. As you said earlier, there are some things that you disagree with them about. I do. I talk about it on this radio show all the time. But what do you say to critics on the GOP side, on the conservative side, who say that you guys in some way don't embrace MAGA, not just Donald Trump, but the supporters within the state?
Well, what I say to people is this: you give me an issue, and we'll talk about the issue, and I'll tell you if I support the issue or not.
Okay.
When it comes to law enforcement, when it comes to what he's doing in immigration, I'm taking a ton of criticism from the left for supporting everything that Donald Trump is doing. When it comes to those particular things, when I say I don't embrace MAGA, or when I get criticized of that, it's when I don't blindly follow a partisan ideal. Right.
Okay.
So there are things that I take on an issue by issue basis. And there's another thing that needs to be said, and this is what upsets an awful lot of so-called MAGA people. Is I have 2 teenage sons.
Okay.
I know that, right? And when you're a father, your boys watch every move you make, and they emulate every single thing that you do. So when you have the President of the United States, and Donald Trump does this at times, using words, rhetoric, and insults that I don't think are becoming of the President of the United States, those are things that I don't support. And MAGA people, so-called MAGA people, get upset with me. Why are you criticizing him for calling that person a fat pig? She is a fat pig. Well, because I'm a gentleman. I was raised a gentleman. I'm raising 2 gentlemen, and I'm not going to endorse calling women like that because you disagree with them. And and in my opinion, when you engage with those things, or when you have teachers like my sons have had that go after them because they have their political ideals that don't align with those little boys' dads, because they're a little bit older now, but when they were younger, those are the problems with politics that are getting it out of control. And I think what people need to realize is if you want to criticize a policy, that's fine. You want to criticize a position, that's fine. But when you start with personal attacks, you really lost me. And because David Collins is a great example of that. And so aren't people who go on Facebook and say things. Ironically, I get called a rapist by people who are convicted rapists. Imagine that.
Wow.
But that's what happens. And when you get to that point, and on whether one side or the other, I'm not going to endorse it.
Well, let me put it to you this way. And I totally get that, and 100%. And I'm not going to ask you in any way to sort of alter your position on that. That's a hard line because, of course, you have children and you have morals. Stick by them. Sure. By the way, everybody should commend you on standing your ground. It's like, look, I want to support the president where it's relevant, but don't ask me to support the maligning of individuals on their looks and things like that because that's right. Beneath me. That gives you integrity. Right. But don't let anybody. Here's the thing: don't let anybody move you, right, or make you malleable to that nonsense by then telling you because you won't support that behavior that you're not full MAGA or you're not fully on board. I get, and thank you for addressing that because people, I get it all the time. Not that they get mad at me because I'm supposed to behave some sort of way. I've told these people from the get-go, you're never going to get, I'm not aligned with anybody. I've got no friends. I don't want any friends. Well, I have friends, but not like that. But nobody moves me. I'm not malleable. I do what I want to do, and I make my own, I make my own rules. And when people ask me to move a certain way that I can't, I tell them no. And if I have to cut ties, I just cut ties. And I appreciate you in stating that. I don't want you to ever change your ways in that regard. But when I say endorse or embrace MAGA, it is, you can do it in a way, and I think that the GOP can do it in a way, as you just stated. In fact, you don't even have to get into the conversation about calling somebody a fat pig. That's not the issue. The point is that when you don't support something, you have to be full-throated about why. You cannot say things like, and I don't want to throw Ben Brodo into this because I tend to try to avoid him. But when a guy says something like, I don't think anybody in this room would want to have dinner with him, that's unnecessary, right? That's
the equal and opposite thing that I just criticized Trump for.
Exactly.
Equal and opposite. That's right.
Exactly. That's what people. That's what people are concerned with, that they want the people who represent them, because the guys who, in essence, are going to get you elected are MAGA folks. Not that you have to, dance around it, but you have to be true to who you are, and I think you are in doing so. I'm going to continue to talk about this, and I appreciate you you coming on the program. Stand your ground. I appreciate the fact that you pushed back on this. I am trying to get more politicians to be like you, and that is to call these people to the carpet. I'll leave you with this. He wrote this today, which is why we ended up in this conversation. Collins writes, I won't get into the nitty-gritty, but it was a dispute over editing a column about Representative Greg Howard of Stonington and his defense of the masked warrantless ICE raids in Connecticut. I was told additional comments by Howard were added to the column to make it more balanced. but I couldn't find a copy of the changes in the system. That's what he wrote. And he says that he was then fired for that. So thank you for giving us the other side of that you contacted them and they wanted to alter it to make sure that you were represented fairly in the article.
Yeah, and just to be clear, Reese, I never even saw his draft. What David Collins got from me, literally, I CC'd the editors. So when he put his opinion out, the editors looked at it and said, well, here's Greg's response. Here's what he wrote. These things don't line up. And that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the whole problem.
You got but you know what? But you did the thing. You were proactive, and that's where we are where we are. Thank you, Representative. I appreciate you, sir.
Pleasure. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you, man. You too. Representative Greg Howard on Reese on the Radio. Let's get to weather and traffic with Mark Christopher. He's in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. And this traffic report being brought to you by Columbia Implant Center in Manchester. Eastbound side of 84 coming into Hartford. You're looking at delays now 43 Park Road down into the tunnel. Again, slowing 58 out to 59. Westbound 84 is tied up, approaching 57 all the way out to 47 Sigourney Street. Southbound 91, look at delays approaching 34 down to 32 A and B in Hartford. Again, another bump as you move from 24 down to 22 and the Route 9 interchange. Northbound 91, good ride, Cromwell up into Windsor. 2 westbound slowing 1D up to the 84 West Merge. 3 northbound delays from the Putnam Bridge up to exit 13B and C and Glastonbury. 9 northbound slowing Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. 84 eastbound Waterbury delays. 17 to the Mixmaster. Westbound 84 tied up. 25A up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. Good news down in Westbrook. Right now, 95 northbound is reopened at exit 64. The left lane on both sides of the highway still shut down, so you want to stay to the right there. And the overpass down there, Route 145, Horse Hill Road, that overpass is still shut down because of that early morning accident. Traffic got you down. Turn that frown upside down at Columbia Implant Center in Manchester. They offer fast, efficient dental implant procedures completed in a single visit, open 7 days a week for your convenience. Don't wait. Visit ColumbiaImplantCenter.com. Traffic and weather together on the 8s WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Warm and rather humid for the rest of the afternoon with clouds and sunshine. We'll top out in the mid-80s and partly cloudy for tonight down to 66. Very warm and sticky for tomorrow. Clouds, some sun, a couple of showers, and a few heavy gusty storms around during the afternoon. Tomorrow, 84. We'll have some rain tomorrow night, lasting into Sunday morning, drying out Sunday afternoon. A high 74. This is meteorologist John Feerick in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
It's 4:30. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. State police family, state and local officials all coming out today for a bridge dedication. This afternoon for a fallen state police trooper. Aaron Pelletier was killed by a hit-and-run driver during a traffic stop on I-84 East in Southington last year. Today, they named the Jude Lane overpass in his honor. The person who struck Pelletier was later apprehended. He took a plea deal earlier this year and is now serving 18 years in prison. Well, as Shark told you, I-95 was closed this morning in both directions in Westbrook. Crash involving a tractor-trailer, load spillage all over the highway. The Route 145 overpass going over 95 was closed due to structural damage there. Meantime, a tanker spilled about 2,000 gallons of cooking oil on I-91 today. This one happened in Rocky Hill between exits 23 and 22. Looks as if that one has since been cleared. Employers added just 22,000 jobs last month. As the job market continued to cool, the Labor Department saying today that hiring also decelerated from 79,000 in July. Unemployment ticked up to 4.3%. The world-famous Budweiser Clydesdales were on hand at the state capitol today for a good cause. They were there to drum up support for the Folds of Honor. The nonprofit provides scholarships for the spouses and children of military and first responders killed in action. Yankee captain Aaron Judge is returning to the field. He'll be in right tonight. First time since hurting his elbow in late July. Judge has been the DH since August 5th. The Yankees begin a crucial 3-game series tonight against the Blue Jays at the stadium. Wall Street, the Dow down 220 points. NASDAQ down 7. S&P down 20. Yanks and Jays tonight. It's also Red Sox baseball. Late one here on TIC. Sox take on the Diamondbacks in Arizona. We'll have the pregame here at 8:40. Mets hit the road in Cincinnati to take on the Reds. And the Yard Goats in the Eastern League continue to finish the home portion of their 25 schedule. Another tilt tonight at Duncan Park against the Reading Fightin' Phils. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-578-3203. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-578-3203. That's 800-578-3203.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, we are back, and you know what? Let's get into, gosh, is it? No, it's not time yet. I thought it was already time for Hollywood news. It ain't time for Hollywood news yet. It's time to promote the website. That's right. It's ReeseOnTheRadio.com, REESE on the radio.com. Make sure that you check out that website. Follow us on Substack. You can also check out the program afterwards. Not yesterday's. That won't be there because we were busy editing a whole bunch of other stuff. Somebody was using certain words, but I won't get into that. Plus, we've got Roseanne coming up. She's going to join us. It has been official. Pete Hegseth has been named the Secretary of War. And folks, we are now dawning on a new name for the Department of Defense, and it is officially called the Department of War. I think that's appropriate. We should play that every time we do a story about the Department of War. I think, and we should have that little chyron up there. The Department of War. We just play the explosion. Everybody is upset about that, by the way. Everybody is mad about the Department of War. What are you upset about? It is a great name. It's a fantastic name. You know what? Let's ask a person who used to be, I guess, in active military. And that is none other than my wife, Roseanne on the Radio. Sorry, that's wrong. There we go. Wrong button. Look at me. Hello, Roseanne. Welcome to the show. Why does your camera keep doing that weird thing? I got to fix that. Go ahead. Anyway, how are you today?
I'm good. They used to call us war fighters. That's what we were called. War
Yeah,
fighters.
I think appropriately so. That was, here, take this so you can make your camera a little bit tighter. Push the T on there to make it tight. For some odd reason, to keep, there you go. Right there.
Oh, too
Perfect.
tight.
Yeah, go wide a little bit. So you can, there you go, perfect.
Better?
Much better. Anyway, so the Department of War. Are you okay with that name because you are war fighters?
I think it's phenomenal. The Department of Defense. You have to think about the fact that words mean stuff.
I would think
right?
so.
Defense. We're defensive. Oh no, protect me. Defend me. Or the Department of War. Excuse me, you're in my way. Move.
Yeah, it says something.
I'm just saying. I mean, all I keep hearing is that, move, get out the way. Like that's the U.S. That's who we've always been. Is we don't take any guff. We don't.
Yeah.
We drew a line in the sand. You came near it, and we took issue with it. And now it's okay. We'll just move it closer to us. It's fine. We don't need a border. No, it's okay. So I like the Department of War. I think it's appropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem. A lot of people think it's too aggressive.
That's right. There it is. That's
There's
the
a tank
U.S.
coming
anthem.
right at you. I suggest you yield to us.
That's the reason why he's the best traffic guy on the planet. Because actually, you should have that music playing when you're telling everybody about the race and traffic.
Exactly.
Mark Christopher's in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Yeah, if you're sitting in that left lane and you're going like 55 miles per hour, move, get out of the way, get into the center or right lane. If you're coming into Hartford right now, Reese, southbound 91, you got delays from exit 34 down to 32 A and B. Again, you're a little tight, 25 S and N down to exit 23 West Street and Rocky Hill. And again, a little bump down between 19 and 17 in Meriden. Northbound 91 looks good. Cromwell up into Windsor. If you're westbound 84, you're tied up from pretty much from exit 57 in East Hartford out to 47 Sigourney Street. 84 eastbound locked up. 44 Prospect Oakwood down to the Bulkley Bridge. And again, you're slowing by 59. If you are traveling 3 northbound, delays Putnam Bridge in Glastonbury up to 13 B and C in the Route 2 ramps. Traveling 84 westbound, you're going to see some slow traffic now as you move 38 to 37. In Farmington, again, you're going to see slow traffic, 84 westbound, 26 in Cheshire up to the Mixmaster, 84 eastbound Waterbury slowing 17 up to the Mixmaster, and 95 north and southbound at exit 64 in Westbrook. The left lanes are shut down on both sides of the highway from that early morning accident. The Route 145 Horse Hill Road overpass that goes over I-95 there is shut down until further notice. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
We're going to have some sunshine out there for the rest of the afternoon. Temperatures generally up into the low and mid 80s. Tonight, partly cloudy, still a little bit on the humid side, down to 66. And for tomorrow, very warm and humid for September. Clouds and sun are up to 84. And it looks like we'll start out dry, but we'll see a couple of heavy gusty storms tomorrow afternoon into the first part of tomorrow evening. Storms capable of producing drenching downpours, damaging wind gusts, and even an isolated tornado. Then we'll have leftover rain later tomorrow night into Sunday morning. A low 61. Clouds go to some sunshine for Sunday afternoon. A high in the mid-70s. Right now, it's 79 in Bristol, 79 in Unionville, and it's 81 in Hartford. This is meteorologist John Feerick in the WTIC Weather Center.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars Lose the Weight, Stop Smoking Early Bird Special, $49.99. Seminars Thursday, September 18th, Hilton Garden in Hartford North, Bradley International Airport, Windsor. Weight loss 5:30 p.m. Stop Smoking Seminar 8 p.m. Or Saturday, September 20th, Holiday Inn Express, Southington. Weight loss 11 a.m. Stop Smoking Seminar 2 p.m.
Join us this Sunday for Tumalo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father-son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumalo Financial, retirement planning with integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hi, this is Brian Kilmeade from Fox & Friends. Have you checked out my radio show, The Brian Kilmeade Show? Listen weekdays at 9 a.m. on News Talk 1080. We're talking about the issues that matter most to you. We're giving you the breaking news, talking to the newsmakers you want to hear from. Where does President Trump take the country? Where do the Democrats go from here? We are covering all this in great depth and so much more. The Brian Kilmeade Show, weekdays, 9 a.m. on News Talk 1080. Listen to your radio, smart speaker, or on the free Odyssey app.
Hi, this is Joel Johnson with Johnson Brunetti. Do not make mistakes when it comes to Social Security decisions. Get our free guide, Social Security Decisions. Call or text the word security to request your copy. 1-800-705-1232. Call or text the word security to 1-800-705-1232 to get your free guide. 1-800-705-1232.
832. Investment advisory services offered through JB Capital, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance products offered through JN Financial, LLC.
Millions are VPN to stay safer online. Get NordVPN today with 77% off and
Thanks,
up
sir.
to 3 months extra. NordVPN will encrypt your online traffic and help you avoid phishing, scams, and malware. Get the special NordVPN deal today at nordvpn.com. This offer includes a 77% discount on a 2-year plan and up to 3 extra months. Savings and additional terms apply and can be found on nordvpn.com. The offer is valid until October 15th.
Hey, when you come back on, don't answer the phones. I gotta clean up
people 50 and up
a mess, and then I have to have a pee-pee break.
wants us in an unlimited plan. But if you're not using all that data, you're probably
I won't
getting
take any
used.
calls.
At Consumer
We'll
Cellular,
take
we're
care of
focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. And start at
Got
just
it.
$20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
The NAACP calls him, whoa, I don't think I'm allowed to read this. It's Reese on the Radio. Let's just say some people are not fans. On News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Thank you, Russell. Russell just joined us as well. And if you'd like to, you could call us in the next hour because, sometimes, when you got when you
Nature
got
calls.
when you gotta go, you gotta go. So Roseanne is here, as she is always on Friday, to talk about anything that I dream up to have a conversation about. And today in particular, this is an interesting piece that just came out in the New York Post. I just saw it. Usually I'll have something for you, but I saw this, and you are annoyingly medicine based. Like, you're always on nutrition and medical stuff and chemicals and eating right and making sure that you don't eat this and that's poison and close this and keep that.
All right, let's get to the point. You're beating a dead horse.
I want to make
Holistic
sure that
and healthy and natural.
whatever the case may be, that you are annoying in all of that. But I know you do it
I
for a
love
good
you
reason.
too.
So this just came out, and I want to hear your honest to goodness answer on it. RFK Jr., which yesterday had that Senate hearing that was, pretty bombastic with a bunch of Democrats going after him. He is to announce the potential link in Tylenol use during pregnancy to autism. Now, is this something you've always known, or you just saw the article recently?
No, I saw this about a year ago.
Okay. Talk to me a little bit about what you do know, because one of the biggest issues that RFK Jr. had to deal with yesterday was in relation to autism. And I've been watching this video of Jenny McCarthy, who's now married to Donnie Wahlberg. And Donnie Wahlberg from New Kids on the Block.
Not the other Wahlberg.
Not Mark.
The other one.
Yes, the other one.
Okay.
He was on Blue Bloods.
Bloods?
Blue Bloods. But anyway, sorry. He's got a new TV series coming out now, too. But when she was with Jim Carrey back in the days and she was dating, when she left the whole Playboy and MTV
Right,
era.
she went on this whole tirade talking about how food and nutrition could actually reverse autism.
Right, and she was against the use of, vaccines. And she was everywhere. She was on Oprah, and not one person bat an eye. It led to Oprah holding this big, huge special that she did with all of these doctors and mothers who were talking about vaccines, and had doctors on there who were a little skeptical about whether or not it was true or it wasn't. And now, in recent years, we have had this screaming and hollering about how you're not supposed to question the vaccines. And now, that we have full-blown access to the internet and everywhere. Now we're finding new information.
Right.
And Robert Kennedy Jr. is finding out stuff at the CDC. He is opening up the books.
Right.
Talk to me a little.
So like PubMed and NCBI, NIH, things like that. A lot of your academic, like your universities that do
research.
trials and things like that. Yeah, they do a lot of peer-reviewed paperwork, right? So these things are not just, I did an experiment, this is law. These are things that are not only experiments, but they're experiments and experiments and experiments. The ultimate goal of an experiment is to disprove the original experiment, right? When you have this continued result, you take a little bit of pride in that. You sort of come to really rely on the data, right? Other peers, your peer group, will review this document. They will look at it, look for inaccuracies or test fallacies, things that could have been or should have been done differently that have sort of steered the results in a certain direction. One thing that we're seeing consistently in these documents is the blood levels, the labs indicating high levels of heavy metals in the bloodstream of children with autism. Where are these heavy metals coming from? Now, how it correlates to aspirin, I'm not sure. I think that's a whole different mechanism dealing with, in utero and the development. But
is aspirin a prescribed?
It's not aspirin. It's acetaminophen. It's
acetaminophen. That's correct.
Medication.
Tylenol is acetaminophen. That's correct.
Right.
Is this prescribed to pregnant women for a particular reason?
It's not necessarily prescribed, but when a woman is pregnant, we have an influx of blood pressure in our bodies, right?
Okay.
And a lot of times that causes headaches. It causes eye strain. It causes sinus pressure, things like that. So one of the safest drugs to use has always been Tylenol. And so a lot of pregnant women feel comfortable taking Tylenol. I was kind of weird in that even when I was pregnant with my kids, wouldn't take anything. I mean, I wasn't even taking prenatal vitamins. And, I got a lot of guff over that, but I don't know what I'm
Was it fear, by the way? I don't want you to go off there.
I don't think it was fear so much as it was an abundance of caution. It was a lack of knowing. And if I don't know, and this is going to sound really weird, if it feels weird to my body, I won't do it. And I'd taken prenatal vitamins a few times, and I'll tell you, I took prenatal vitamins with my first child. He was 6 pounds, 2 ounces.
Wow.
The next one was 7'8". I didn't take anything.
Okay.
Tylenol, nothing. I mean, 7 pounds, 8 ounces, and then of course the boy was, massive, whopping 10 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah. But the heavy metals are being found in, believe it or not, people that use air fryers a lot.
Really?
The heavy metals leaching out of the lining of the air cookers, the air fryers, and it's getting into the food. Microwave uses. If you take a look at all of the additives that they put in vaccines, mercury, aluminum, all of these unnecessary heavy metals, and then you read the black label that goes, like the label insert that goes along with the vaccine, there's a huge problem there. Like, I don't think parents are given an opportunity to read. Now, if you've ever seen an old school Bible with the tissue paper thin paper and that minuscule, minute, like smaller than an ant writing, that is the type of print that these inserts come with. And the insert folds out
It's
about
always long.
15 pages.
Yeah.
It's obscene.
So
people aren't reading it and they're not aware of what they're putting into their children's
And they're
bodies.
and of course, trusting their doctor.
Well, if you don't give your child a vaccine, now you run the risk of them calling CPS and having your kids taken away for endangerment. So
to read this, it says, Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is preparing to drop a bombshell report linking Tylenol use in pregnancy to autism. And touting a vitamin-based therapy as a potential treatment for the disorder, according to a report. The Department of Health and Human Services report, which is expected to be published this month, will raise low folate levels and acetaminophen during pregnancy as possible causes of autism, people familiar with the matter told the Wall Street Journal. The review will also highlight folinic acid, known as leucovorin. Does that sound familiar to you? Okay. As a possible therapy to ease autism symptoms in some patients, he told the journal. Autism affected about 1 in 31 8-year-olds in the U.S. in 2022, according to federal estimates. That is incredible.
Yeah.
What I also wanted to play was this. You might remember, it was talked about yesterday. I think Jesse Waters mentioned it, but didn't play the audio. I'm going to play that for you here. This was another study that was hid by the CDC that Robert F. Kennedy had mentioned yesterday. I think this was it.
You want to just talk about what you've witnessed in terms of the capture of the agencies that you're now in charge of, the corruption of science, which I believe you just said, that is almost your number one goal, right? Is try to bring integrity and credibility back to science, which has been corrupted by the people who pay for it, by federal health agencies being captured by pharmaceutical industries, by big pharma, by big food. I want to give you, I'm sorry, just the last minute to, first of all, defend yourself, but talk about the corruption of science that you're having to deal with and trying to correct.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just tell you one example, and I could sit here and give you thousands. But in 2002, CDC did an internal study of Atlanta and Fulton County, Georgia children, and looked at children who got the MMR vaccine on time and compared those to kids who got them later. So in other words, kids who got them before 36 months and kids who got them afterward. The data from that study showed that Black boys who got the vaccine on time had a 260% greater chance of getting an autism diagnosis than children who waited. The chief scientist on that, Dr. William Thompson, the senior vaccine safety scientist at CDC, was ordered to come into a room with 4 other co-authors by his boss, Frank DiStefano, who's the head of the immunization safety branch, and ordered to destroy that data. Wow. And then they published it without that fact. So you know that story, I know that story, and you know of hundreds of stories like that. It happens all the time. We are being lied to by these agencies, and we're going to change that right now.
And that's a measles vaccine.
Measles, mumps, and rubella. This is where it gets really tricky, right? Because I worked in the medical field. When we first got together, I was a masker. I was a vaxxer. Yeah. Prior to giving my son the vaccine or even allowing him, when as soon as we found out that they were allowed for kids under the age of 16, one of the things I kept hearing about was myocarditis and there was something else. But I read the research. I was troubled by it. However, at the time I was raising my son by myself, right? So my dialogue with my son and his ability to articulate and come to reasonable deduction of his own accord was something that I encouraged. So I was bothered by it, but he said, Mom, I really just want to get back to normal life. And I said, well, here's what I want you to do. I sent him the link, and I said, I want you to read this, and I want you to understand what is the cause, like the side effect of getting this shot. He reads it, and he comes back a little bit later, and he says, all right, Mom, I read it. I know that there's risk associated, and he literally used his words, I know that there's risks associated with it, but I really just want to get back to real life. And I said, you realize that there is a possibility that you could, like, die. And he's like, Mom, I understand, but I want to get back to real life. When a 14-year-old child looks at you and says, this is enough, I'm tired, I'm like, it's
a tough thing.
He's well-read. He has the capability of understanding the words. If he doesn't, he knows how to look them up. So he was aware of what was coming. He was aware of the possibilities. Having worked in the medical field, having given inoculations for years to service members, having gotten inoculations regularly as a service member, I was a huge proponent of vaccines. In 1980, the vaccine mandate for a child was 12 shots. That was at 12 shots. I forget what the spread is, but 12. Today, it's 54. 54 vaccines that is forced into the developing body of a child who has yet to finish developing their own immune system.
With a minute and a half left, knowing what you know now, watching this stuff as it's happening, right? More and more of this information is revealed. If you had to do it all over again, which I know makes no sense, and I know hindsight is 20/20, but would you have done it again? Would you have even given him an opportunity to read it? Or would you have just said
what
no?
I know now?
Yeah.
I feel incredibly blessed that the boy has not been impacted.
Absolutely.
His health was not impacted. But knowing what I know now, no.
Yeah. Wouldn't have done it.
Most vaccines, I would not have gotten him. No.
So many of the people we knew, because we knew a lot of people who work for the government.
Right.
Worked for
Well,
post
living in
office,
DC,
patent
yeah.
company. Living in D.C., almost everybody we knew worked
And
for.
I'm military.
Yeah.
My ex-husband's military. All my friends are
Yeah.
military.
So it's so funny because everybody we knew, at least from my perspective, I'm doing a podcast. I don't have to do any of that. My boys, only one of them had to be vaccinated, but he was in a contentious situation with visitation of his son, who also suffers medically. And so the judge told him in order for him to continue to visit his son, he had to be immunized.
Yeah.
Like he had to take that. So, and he hated it because he listened to my show every day, still does. And he did not want to take
Carl.
that. And he was, he felt forced to. And it's so funny because Carl said to me that he understood his constitutional rights more than he had ever, or understood how valuable they were by listening to this
but
show.
If you have to choose between your child or your freedom.
But he knew what it was, but he understood that, like how important they were because he was under that mandate or forced to. It was incredible. All right, more news and more views when we get back. Roseanne is here. Let's get another check of the weather and traffic. Mark Christopher's in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound side of I-91, look for delays 34 down at 32A and B. And then you're going to be sluggish again from exit 25 S&N down to 22 in the Route 9 interchange. Another slowdown, 20 in Middletown Country Club Road down to 17 in Meriden. Northbound side 91 moving well, Cromwell through downtown up in Windsor. Westbound 84 tied up 56 Governor Street out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound slowing about a mile before 46 Sisson Avenue down to the Bulkley Bridge. 291 eastbound's a little tight coming off of I-91 over to the Bissell Bridge. 2 westbound slowing in East Hartford, 1D up to the 84 West merge. Both sides of 9 heavy approaching the Aragoni Bridge in Middletown. 84 eastbound Waterbury slowing by 18. Westbound 84, you got some slow traffic. 26 in Cheshire up to the Mixmaster. Now that problem down in Westbrook is still there, but good news. Both sides of 95 are reopened. The left lane on both sides of 95 north and southbound still shut down from that early morning accident. And the Route 145 Horse Hill Road overpass over I-95 in Westbrook, that is still shut down. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Warm and rather humid for the rest of the afternoon with clouds and sunshine. We'll top out in the mid-80s and partly cloudy for tonight down to 66. Very warm and sticky for tomorrow. Clouds, some sun, a couple of showers, and a few heavy gusty storms around during the afternoon. High tomorrow, 84. We'll have some rain tomorrow night, lasting into Sunday morning, drying out Sunday afternoon. The high 74. This is meteorologist John Feerick in the WTIC Weather Center.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest. WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
5 o'clock, Hartford temperature 80 degrees. Under partly sunny skies, I'm John Silva. WTIC 1080 News. The State Department of Public Health is reporting the first human case of West Nile virus this season. DPH says the patient is a male in his 40s from Fairfield County. He became ill during the 3rd week of August, was hospitalized, but has since recovered. Tests confirmed the presence of antibodies of the mosquito-borne virus. There were 12 total human cases of WNV in Connecticut in 2024. The virus has been detected in mosquitoes trapped in nearly 3 dozen cities and towns thus far. Health experts continue to advise the public to take precautions when outside at dawn and dusk, when mosquitoes are most active. It was a bridge dedication honoring a fallen Connecticut State Police trooper today. Trooper First Class Aaron Pelletier was struck and killed on Interstate 84 eastbound in Southington in May of 2024 during a traffic stop. State officials were joined by Pelletier's family in renaming the Jude Lane overpass in his honor. Colonel Daniel Lockman, commanding officer of the State Police, said Pelletier left a lasting legacy.
Aaron will always be a part of our law enforcement family. His name will never fade from our hearts, nor from the roll call of heroes. Let us remember Aaron, not only with sadness, but also with purpose. Let us try to live up to the standard that he set.
The driver of the vehicle that struck Pelletier was under the influence of drugs, took a plea deal, and was sentenced earlier this year. Surrounded in Austin by families impacted by the July Texas floods, Governor Greg Abbott signed several flood and camp safety measures into law today.
They dropped their daughters off at camp expecting to be able to see them again very soon.
They had no clue they would never see those daughters again.
27 campers and counselors were killed in flash flooding on the 4th of July. President Trump's reacting to jobs numbers that came out today. Willie James Inman reports.
The president is reacting to this himself, calling on Jerome Powell to lower those interest rates and perhaps trying to blame Jerome Powell for this latest jobs report number that we saw, calling him too late, Powell, and that he should have raised rates a long time ago.
The Labor Department reported 22,000 jobs were added by employers last month, and the number in July was lowered downward to 79,000. With the 9/11 anniversary coming up next week, victims' families have a new court ruling in their favor. A federal judge in New York will now allow their longstanding lawsuit against Saudi Arabia to go to trial. The judge agreed there is sufficient evidence connecting two Saudi government employees working in the U.S. to the attacks. Brett Eagleson of Middletown is a spokesman for the families. His father died on 9/11.
The judge even goes to the extent to say that Omar al-Bayoumi and Fahad al-Tumeri, for the two Saudi government employees, they were employed by Saudi Arabia specifically for the purpose of helping the 9/11 hijackers. That's an incredible ruling for us.
The judge rejected Saudi Arabia's attempt to dismiss the lawsuit. The families and surviving victims are seeking financial damages from the kingdom. State and local officials gathered at the Capitol today, along with the famed Budweiser Clydesdales, to support in support of the nonprofit Folds of Honor. It raises money for scholarships for the spouses and children of military and first responders killed in the line of duty or disabled. Anheuser-Busch and its wholesalers like Hartford Distributors has teamed up with Folds of Honor to raise $33 million to fund scholarships for some 6,600 recipients. Hartford Distributors General Manager Andy Ginsberg tells the story of one Connecticut spouse, Marie McCrae.
Through the scholarships provided by Folds of Honor, her children were able to continue their education and pursue their dreams. Her story is a reminder of why we are here, why we give, and why all this matters. At Hartford Distributors, we are proud to stand with Folds of Honor, proud to bring the Budweiser Clydesdales here to Hartford as a symbol of pride.
And McCrae's husband was seriously injured in a training mission in the military, but he became a lawyer before he fell ill and passed away. Folds of Honor was founded in 2007. Wall Street, the Dow down 220 points today. NASDAQ gave back 7, S&P shed 20. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Do you have 10 or more in credit card debt?
Yes,
Are
sir.
you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is letting everyone know about great debt relief options now available to help people with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of your credit card debt. Get a free debt relief consultation when you call 800-586-4040. 800-586-4040. 800-586-4040.
At Ayala Home Services, we handle hundreds of well water problems a year. We believe hearing your options to get water flowing in your house shouldn't cost a thing. That's why we offer free estimates for wells with no water. Plus, get your water back as soon as the same day. Contact the trusted well professionals at ALO Home Services when you call, click, or text today and say hello, ALO, call for details. Licensed for safety. HIC 628926, P10277688, S10413487, P10401465, S33086, and 3004646, E1185643.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC. News Talk 1080.
I don't know about you, but I like the sound of that. The Department of War. What's that?
Sometimes you are just a little unnecessary.
I am unnecessary. It's time for Hollywood News with your correspondent, Reese on the Radio. All the glitz, all the glamour. Not grammar, glamour. It's Hollywood News. We are back. Okay, so when I was growing up as a kid, this guy fascinated me because when I was younger, he did something that many people have talked about forever. Do you remember the movie War of the Worlds? Do you remember anything about it? War of the Worlds, Roseanne? No? Gosh, okay, never mind. Tom Cruise did a movie About it with Dakota Fanning. It was one of her first films.
Yeah, that looked terrible.
Yeah, you remember that. Yeah, it did.
I didn't
of course,
bother to watch
Of
it.
course it was terrible. It should have
Okay.
never been
It was a
remade.
great movie.
Yeah, well, some people did. Well, back in the days, it was actually a radio program, and it was narrated by none other than Orson Welles.
Yes.
And it was so popular and so crazy that people thought it was real. And Orson Welles went on to be, of course, a famous director. That was weird. He went on to be a famous director. And of course, always lauded, loved, respected. I mean, he is Orson Welles, Citizen Kane, and so much more. And I've always respected him. He even did a voice job on one of my favorite movies growing up, and that was the Transformers film. He was the voice of Unicron. And he died subsequently afterwards. I always called that the Orson Welles curse because another great actor was Raul Julia. He did Street Fighter, a comic book movie, and he died immediately after. When we come back, I'll talk to you about the Orson Welles news that's in Hollywood News when we return. And I did all that bloviating to only go right into the time where we have to go to news, traffic, and weather. Let's get to Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're westbound 84, look for delays in East Hartford 56 Governor Street out to exit 45 Flatbush Avenue. Eastbound 84 slowing about a half mile before 46th Avenue down to the Bulkley. Southbound 91 delays 33 down to 32 IMB. And then you'll see another bump down between 24 and 23 in Rocky Hill. More slow traffic from 20 in Middletown down to exit 17 for the Wilbur Cross Parkway. Northbound 91 looking good. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. 2 westbounds tied up in East Hartford. 1D up to the 84 West merge. 9 southbound, you're running slow from 27 in Cromwell down to the Aragoni Bridge in Middletown. 84 eastbound Waterbury slowing by 18. 84 westbound in Waterbury's tight 25A up to the Mixmaster. And down in Westbrook, both sides of 95 reopened, but the left lane is out on both sides of 95 at exit 64 in Westbrook from this early morning accident. Also, the Route 145 Horse Hill Road overpass over I-95 is shut down until further notice. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
Traffic brought to you by the Connecticut Police Chiefs Association. Before our children get to school, they're on the roads, on sidewalks, in crosswalks, riding bikes, and waiting for buses. So put away the distractions and slow down. School's in. Drive smart. A message from the Connecticut Police Chiefs Association and Connecticut DOT.
WTIC weather.
A warm afternoon out there. Temperatures up near the 80-degree mark right now, and it's going to be a little bit on the humid side tonight. Partly cloudy. It'll be dry down to 66. Tomorrow starts out dry, and we'll have some sunshine tomorrow morning, and then the clouds roll in. We'll see a couple of heavy gusty storms during the afternoon and early evening. Storms capable of producing flooding downpours, damaging wind gusts, perhaps even an isolated tornado. The high tomorrow, 86. And then we'll have some leftover rain tomorrow night into Sunday morning. The low down to 58. And clouds break for some sunshine Sunday afternoon. A little bit cool, but pretty nice in the afternoon. The high around 70. Right now it's 78 in Coventry. It's 82 in New Britain. And it's 81 in Hartford. This is meteorologist John Feerick in the WTIC Weather Center.
Looking for the best ways to prepare for retirement this year? Then be sure to tune in to Johnson Brunetti's Money Wisdom tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. right here on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Have bad teeth that need to be replaced? Don't like removable dentures? Worry no more. Come on down to Columbia Implant Center in Manchester any day of the week and ask for the all-on-4 procedure. Call us at 860-643-1898.
Well, vacation is over, school is back in session, and WTIC News Talk 1080 is part of your daily routine with news, weather, and traffic updates, plus talk shows to keep you informed and entertained. It's back to the grind, but we'll help you get through it. WTIC News Talk 1080, always on your radio and on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps.
Hi, I'm Tom Connors. Went to Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar February 6, 2019. Nothing worked before. Left there and never smoked again. Amazing. Easy, affordable, and guaranteed. A year later, with my wife Michelle, attended Mark Patrick's weight loss seminar. She lost 18 pounds and I lost 43 in 8 weeks.
It's true. He smoked 2 packs a day and nothing worked until Mark Patrick hypnosis. Now we're losing weight together, eating healthy, full on half the food. Crazy. Enjoying exercising. Who would have believed Mark Patrick hypnosis really works?
It's amazing. I can breathe again, my blood pressure went down, and I've got so much energy.
So much energy.
And look great.
Join Mark Patrick Seminar's Early Bird Special, only $49.99. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings. That's right. Seminars Thursday, September 18th, Hilton Garden in Hartford North, Bradley International Airport in Windsor. Weight Loss Seminar 5:30. Stop Smoking Seminar 8 p.m. Or Saturday, September 20th, Holiday Inn Express, Southington. Weight Loss Seminar 11 a.m. Stop Smoking Seminar 2 p.m. Register markpatrickseminars.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular, serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Millions are choosing NordVPN to stay safer online. Get NordVPN today with 77% off and up to 3 months extra. NordVPN will encrypt your online traffic and help you avoid phishing, scams, and malware. Get the special NordVPN deal today at nordvpn.com. This offer includes a 77% discount on a 2-year plan and up to 3 extra months. Savings and apply and can be found on nordvpn.com. The offer is valid until October 15th.
Oh, hold still. This is only going to hurt a little. It's Reese on the radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
That's how we get the bill paid, John Beckman. Mind your manners. More news, more views than you can shake a stick at. Earlier in the show, we talked about the illegal South Koreans at the Georgia Hyundai plant. And they said they gathered over 450 people. Well, I just got another report. This comes from Right Angle News. This is exactly the quote. It has been revealed that the Hyundai battery plant raided in Georgia, being operated almost entirely by illegals, is the same facility built with $5 billion as part of the Biden administration's investment to bring jobs back to America. This was a part of the Build Back Better program. They said the place was run almost entirely by illegals.
Biden invested $5
billion, they're saying.
billion.
Well, we didn't. He didn't invest anything. That's our money.
We did, right. $5 billion to bring a corporation into the United States that was ultimately only employing illegal people.
South Koreans. To which, by the way, Hyundai's saying we know nothing about those illegals, right? We don't know anything about that, which, again, goes back to my earlier point. Like, this
How
is,
the
you got to
heck
do
did they
something
get
about this.
here?
Exactly. How did they get here? How did they get here?
Where did they live?
I don't know.
So under how long is this? Good grief! How long has this plant been in operation?
Again, I don't know how long it's been in operation, but according to the press, because they said it during the press conference, one of the reporters asked the investigator, one of the lead spokesperson, in fact, she stated that this was something that many in the community, even the press, knew that the individuals there were illegal. Like, this was common knowledge and open
that's
secret.
all fine and good. But what I'm trying to get to is they were supposed to be a company brought to America to make jobs.
Yeah, to make
for
batteries
Americans,
for Americans, right?
Meaning none of these illegals paid taxes.
Correct.
To live in America.
Well, hold on. Don't forget. Now, there'll probably be more to this, but I want you to consider this. One of the big scandals when back in the days, and I keep promising myself I'm going to play this audio. Maybe I'll do it next week. One of the big scandals in all of this is, because we keep hearing this nonsense about how illegals are paying into this tax system, and because they are getting Social Security numbers, or as many people argue, ITIN numbers. What they're not telling you is that, yes, many of these illegals do have Social Security numbers.
But they're stolen.
That's correct. Stolen numbers from other people.
Right.
And how they're getting caught is that when Joe Schmo gets audited by IRS, they find out that he's not Italian.
A Hyundai employer.
Yeah, Hyundai employment. Right, exactly.
Right.
It was like, hey, you have a job in Georgia. And the guy's like, no, I don't.
I live in Denver.
Yeah, it's insane.
So, but what I'm saying is Biden, the Hussein 2.0,
Mm-hmm.
invested our money
Yes.
my money to build a plant for American jobs.
Yeah.
That only employed illegals who never paid taxes.
Presumably.
Who contributed, they didn't. Let's not beat around the bush. They contributed nothing
Right.
to our society. Nothing. Maybe some bulgogi, I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying that's where we are. Anyway, I want to get back to this Orson Welles thing because this is crazy, this particular story. So anyway, with all of that, Orson Welles, a brilliant actor. So apparently there was a movie that he did back in, I want to find a year here. It was in 1941, I believe it was. 1941, that's right. He did a film that was set to be released. It was called The Magnificent Ambersons. And it was owned by RKO Gower Street Studios, which is now Sunset Gower Studios in Los Angeles. Turns out that the movie, which was originally supposed to be 131 minutes long, was destroyed. 43 minutes of it was destroyed because they could not get an agreement on a particular part. There were all these rewrites, and he had filmed all of this stuff, and they didn't like it. And the studio ended up destroying it against the will of Orson Welles. It says, once RKO took over the editing, it deleted almost a third of the negatives for the film without Orson Welles' approval to free vault space, right? So in other words, they had it. They needed vault space. They got rid of it. Anyway, the footage was never found. So Showrunner, which is an Amazon-owned company, they said that they're going to deploy what's called Fusion AI and traditional film techniques to reconstruct the lost footage. This includes shooting some sequences with live actors with the plans to use the face and pose transferred techniques onto those actors. In other words, using the original actors superimposed on live actors in order to, reestablish that 40 some odd minutes of tape so they can re-release the film. So in essence, it will almost be a fully AI film from 1941. This, I believe that, how there's always that one moment where I say that film is about to change. I was on the website earlier today. You saw, I was like, will I be replaced by robots.com? And I was looking up particular jobs. This is one of those industries. The movie industry is done if this is successful. If you can't tell the difference, I saw some, when they did Carrie Fisher in one of those Star Wars movies, at the end, you can clearly see the CGI. But if they are able to do AI and literally reinvent 41 minutes of an Orson Welles 1941 film, it's a wrap. It is a wrap. The movie industry is done. Well, maybe not. Maybe it won't be done.
You're so cute watching your little wheels spin.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm just saying because I'm a big movie guy. I love the movies. I always will.
I'm sitting here going, oh, okay.
Yeah, you don't care.
Sorry.
You don't care.
I care that you care. I care about your care. So I don't care about the subject, but I care.
Have you
about
finished
your
Raiders
care.
of the Lost Ark yet?
Oh, it's so bad. I can't even finish it.
You've never seen it before.
It's just so bad.
You see my point here? You see what I have to put up with?
The pyrotechnics alone are just embarrassing.
So you don't really care for this?
No, not at all.
Why did you want to see it in the first place?
I don't know.
It was just curiosity?
It was idle curiosity, yeah.
Was it anything to do with Harrison Ford, or did you not care?
No, I'm not particularly attracted to Harrison Ford. I just see you're doing that thing.
Judging you?
No, you're saying what you think I'm gonna say at the same time I'm talking.
Oh yeah, my mouth is moving.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I know you very well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. Let's go to phones real quick. Lori's in Glastonbury. Hello, Lori.
Hey there. Hey, Roseanne.
Hello.
I'm glad that you guys got back safely, and I'm sorry I haven't called in before now. But
that's okay.
The whole conversation about RFK Jr. I'm thrilled to pieces that he is doing what he's doing because it's just so good to know what is in our food, what is in our medications, what is in all of the vaccines. And so one of the things that I kind of thought was interesting too, if it kind of makes sense that autism would be linked with Tylenol because dementia or Alzheimer's, actually maybe just dementia, is linked to prolonged use of Benadryl.
Yeah.
Really? I never knew that.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. So Roseanne, I'm in all of this with you. I love doing all of the research. I am the queen of the supplements.
Yeah.
I'll take all the elderberry, all of the cranberry, whatever supplement I need to take in order to keep me off medications.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
So try this. Instead of supplements, use food instead.
Well, I'm doing that too.
Yeah,
I do that too. I
What
kinda
is
do a
that?
balance
Use
of
what
the two.
instead?
Food. So like when I get a virus, right? Pineapples. I'm always telling you to go get me some pineapple. I need ginger. I need garlic. I need, that need certain things that naturally combat viruses rather than going to get Tamiflu or,
Right.
So yeah, I
Right,
do a lot
exactly.
of whole food medicine.
Lori, is this one of those things that are uniting moms? Because when I say this in the sense of like RFK Jr. is really, really beloved by moms in all of this. And again, I guess the protectivism in mothers when it comes to their children, autism is really one of those like lightning rods when it comes to, because every mom is concerned. Don't they have am I right? Do they have a test that parents take to find out if their kid's going to have Down syndrome or anything like that beforehand?
Yeah, that's the old one. I think there's a new way of doing it.
Okay,
now.
but parents are really they're very dialed in to this thing. And when autism plays a role, that fear, because no matter where you look, I think we even run an ad here on WTIC, or at least we used to, about autism all the time. About we used to run an ad that used to say, would have the two parents saying, well, maybe he's not happy, or maybe he doesn't laugh a lot, or maybe he just doesn't talk. And it was like, we should check if our kid has autism. So it's always like at the top of mind with moms. And I kind of feel like this is a place where Congress is going to get ahead of its skis and demonize a guy that mothers really champion in RFK Jr. Lori, do you agree?
Well, yes. I mean, I feel as though parents have been forced for years to acquiesce because no one was championing their concerns. Everyone was dismissed because they were considered crunchy granola. They don't follow the science, whatever. But I think what is also coming into light, I mean, many of our illustrious legislators take money from the pharmaceutical community.
Hundreds of millions a year. Mm-hmm.
Right. So everything is compromised. So I do think that I have friends that are moms that are really excited about all of this because they just want to be able to have the choices. They want to be the captains of the ship.
Yeah.
When it comes to their children's lives, their children's health, what is their children consume, what is put in their children. They just want to be able to have
what they're
some say
learning
and
at school,
understanding
what they're being taught
as a lay person.
Yeah, I got to tell you, Lori, that as you're talking about this, the things that keep running through my mind, I look at this in a degree, with a degree of zeitgeist, right? Because I look at what parents see on television, online, and if you think about it in this scope, I just wrote a Substack article about this, about watching St. Jude's Hospital and Shriners Hospital for Children, kids with childhood illnesses, leukemias, cancers, and things like that, and other illnesses and sickness. As I'm watching that, and as mothers are watching that every day, pregnant, thinking about having children, the one thing that they're always being bombarded with is, what if my child? You know what I mean? And this is just one of those things that you can't get this wrong, because those parents are concerned, or any future parents for that matter, are concerned, what is going to happen with my child? And when you got RFK coming out and saying, look, these people are lying to you about what they're telling you to take and what to put in your body, as a mother, you're going to be, I got to stop this.
I've been telling you this for a couple of years now, and you just kind of think I'm, some tree-hugging.
I'm a guy. I can't get pregnant.
Right. Well, not just about that, but I'm very protective of your health as well.
Yes, I know.
I have changed up your entire diet. And some things, the cutest thing is he didn't even know I changed him from eating ground beef to ground bison because it's healthier. You had no idea
Right,
about that.
right.
But these are the things that we take into like men go out into the world and you work and you conquer that realm. Everything else is left up to us. We are left behind to have to take care of your health, the kids' health, our health, the health of the house. I mean, the things that a woman has to, like, our brains never shut off. It could be 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm wondering, oh my God, did my kid take, that thing that one time, and how's that going to impact him long? Like, this is the crap that we are forced to think about while you get to go, oh, the great successful day at work. I'm going to go to sleep now. The world never stops being dangerous, and nobody is telling us the truth, and it's up to moms to pay attention to what's harming our children. And it's made even worse. It's exacerbated by professionals, and I use the air quotes.
Yeah.
Those professionals who tell us that, oh, no, you're just imagining things.
Yeah.
The hell I am.
Yeah. Thank you, Lori.
And I think.
Yeah, last word.
Well, I think if people did a deep dive as to how food is medicine, if they just understood how their bodies would benefit from eating whole foods instead of processed foods, they would be amazed as to how their health would change. And it's not to be dismissed for being, you're not a hippie, a dirty hippie, whatever. If you
are health conscious
interested in these things, you're just very health conscious, and you try to be as informed and
We got it.
from a
Lori,
Facebook-
I'm sorry, I got to cut you off. I do. I apologize. It's all right. All right. Love you. Let's get to weather and traffic. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Traffic Center. Sorry about that, buddy. Who's not even there. Here I am rushing for him. He'll be here in a second. Okay, Mark Christopher. He'll be there in a sec. Stand by.
But yes, food is medicine, and if you cut out seed oils and stick to things like tallow, coconut oil, avocado oil, olive oil, not the aerosol stuff, but like the stuff in a bottle.
Yeah.
My arthritis, I haven't had an arthritis flare up in 4 years because we just from switching off the oils. That's it.
All right. I think Mark Christopher's there now. Mark? All right, whatever. We
All
tried.
right, we're moving on.
All right. We'll be back. It's Reese on the Radio.
WTIC weather.
Warm and rather humid out there for the rest of the afternoon. We'll have some sunshine. Temperatures up into the mid-80s. And tonight, partly.
You may have had a bathroom break or something.
Tomorrow starts out dry, but it'll be very warm and humid. Intervals of clouds and sunshine up to 84. Then we'll see a couple of heavy gusty storms cross the area during the afternoon and evening. Storms capable of producing damaging wind gusts, and there could even be an isolated tornado. And looks like the thunderstorms will wind down then as we head into the evening, but that evolves into some rain as we head through the night tomorrow night, lasts into Sunday morning. Low tomorrow night, 61. And Sunday afternoon, we dry out. Clouds break for some sunshine. We're back up into the mid-70s. And then it looks pretty nice as we head into the early part of next week. Mostly sunny for Monday, a high 75. Tuesday, intervals of clouds and sunshine up to 74. It looks like the dry weather continues on Wednesday. This is meteorologist John Feerick in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
80 degrees at 5:30. I'm John Silva. Serious crash had both sides of Interstate 95 in Westbrook shut down for the better part of today. Multi-vehicle crash involving a tractor trailer took place at 95 between exits 64 and 65. They had a time of it cleaning the thing up because there was wood all over the road. There were injuries reported and also impacted an overpass as well. The highway since reopened, although the left lane on both sides of 95 in Westbrook between 64 and 65, though, remains closed. Meantime, in Rocky Hill, there was another crash, this one involving a tanker on Interstate 91. Incident was between exits 23 and 22S, involved a spillage of about 2,000 gallons of cooking oil. State police have arrested a Stamford man after he allegedly engaged troopers in a pursuit along Interstate 84 Thursday night. They say Jeffrey Latour was reported first by Massachusetts State Police, having entered Connecticut during a pursuit there. Troopers say he slowed down, then accelerated to speeds over 90 miles an hour before they deployed stop sticks and ultimately boxed him in on the highway in Vernon. They say he also had a loaded handgun with a high-capacity magazine. Crews were at the scene of a hazmat situation in Wallingford today. 200 gallons of phosphoric acid spilled at Northrop Industrial Park Road West. There were no injuries. The Department of Energy and Environmental Protection was called in as well. Employers added just 22,000 jobs last month as the labor market cooled. Labor Department also said today that the hiring decelerated from 79,000. President Trump issuing an executive order to rename the Department of Defense as the Department of War. On Wall Street, down day for the markets. Dow lost 220 points. NASDAQ finished down 7. S&P off 20. Red Sox and the Diamondbacks. It's a late one on TIC tonight. First pitch is 9:40. We'll have the pregame at 8:40. Aaron Judge makes his return to right field after an elbow injury when the Yanks opened a series with Toronto at the stadium. And the Mets take their show on the road to Cincinnati to face the Reds. Eastern League Yard Goats host Reading, 7:10 on the Odyssey app. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Mint is still $15 a month for premium wireless. And if you haven't made the switch yet, here are 15 reasons why you should. 1, it's $15 a month. 2, seriously, it's $15 a month. 3, no big contrast. 4, I use it. 5, my mom uses it. Are you playing me off? That's what's happening, right? Okay.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, $15 per month equivalent required. New customer offer first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Here's the tale of the daily med fill. Same old pharmacy, same old bill.
That's what Crash I'm talking about.
Till the savings Wrangler rode in. Cool as can be. Tap Good RX. Saving massively.
No plan? Don't matter none. Up to 80% off. The deals are done.
Discounts hitting harder than Ma's chili. Dang. That one little app does all the rest.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
Check Good RX. Good RX is not insurance.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio. Our protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. 1 discount per household.
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app, search WTIC News Talk 1080, and tap earlier today to get started.
All right, Reese on the Radio. We're almost out of here, and we have almost reached the end of our program. And this is the part where we tell you about what had happened was in today's program. We talked about the stupidest thing I read today. EBT just 3 years ago used to only be available at Taco Bell's in 7 locations. 2 years later, it is now available in 165 locations, 143 of them located in California alone, with 22 in Michigan. Roseanne is not happy about this story, and this look on her face is always priceless. So why are you what are you so upset about when it comes to this story?
Taco Bell? A food stamp card at Taco Bell, and you wonder why they're all diabetic and fat.
I know. Look,
why not make it accessible at a farmer's market?
Well, it already is.
I don't feel like cooking. I'm gonna go get some Taco Bell.
I thought it was I thought it was horrible as well. But the only reason why I know this story is because I saw this video with these 2 women who were online bragging about it. And there used to be a time when that was absolutely, look, if I could tell this story.
Bragging about being on food. Girl, I got to use my food stamps over to Taco Bell today. Yes, queen.
I don't.
Good. Good.
When I was a kid, I told this story a bunch of times. But when I was a kid, there were these 2 girls this one girl that I liked. She was with her girlfriend. And we were at the Key Food grocery store, which I ended up working at later on. And my mom had sent me with the big book of food stamps. And this was at a time during
I used to hate that.
the big book of food stamps that she used to give me. But see, this was beyond your time, Roland. My mother gave me the big book of food stamps where when you bought something, they would give you what's called food stamp change. Does anybody remember that?
Food stamp
Yeah.
change.
Okay, you do. Okay, you're old enough to remember
Food
that.
stamp change. What was it, like plastic coins?
Yes, it was.
Shut up your face.
Yes, yes, it was.
Yes, it was. It was plastic coins. You know, like when the kids get like the fake poker game, like the plastic poker game chips. That's what they were, and they had 25. Yeah, they had 25 cents written on them, and a dime and a nickel. Yeah,
Boy, they
were,
really did not want
Yeah.
food stamp recipients like
No,
entering
they-
the regular market
That was what I'm
at
saying.
all.
We did not know, but it was you knew you were on public assistance, and you tried to hide that everywhere you went. But then they put it on the debit card, and it was all over.
So embarrassing.
But I'm telling you, that's the kind of shame I grew up with. And it was like, you didn't know about the food stamp coins. Yeah. Look them up. They're still on there. People have pictures of them. They're fantastic to look at.
We had pogs in the
Yeah.
Army. We had pogs, but that's a whole different animal.
Let's get a check of weather and traffic. John Ferrick is in the Weather Center, and Mark Crismer is in the BPS Traffic Center. How are you, Mark?
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading southbound 91 into Hartford, slowing 33 down to 32 A and B. And then you'll see some sluggish and stop-and-go traffic pretty much from Cromwell right down into Middletown between 22 and exit 17 for the Wilbur-Cross Parkway. Northbound 91 moving well, Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is tied up, approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound sluggish, stop-and-go. About a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue up to Sisson Avenue itself. If you're 291 384, you're okay. 2 westbound slowing, 1D up to the 84 West merge. 9 southbound slowing, Cromwell Middletown line down to the Aragoni Bridge. 84 eastbound Waterbury slowing 17 to 18. Westbound 84 is tied up 26 in Cheshire up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. And both sides of 95 in Westbrook, the left lane is out at exit 64 from this morning's accident. Also, the Route 145 Horse Hill Road overpass that goes over I-95, that is still shut down until further notice. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
Sponsored by Duke's Mayonnaise.
This is the Duke's Country Song. It's a song about the best mayo. Has a yellow lid, and its full name is Duke's Mayonnaise. Get Duke's Mayo in store. It's got twang.
WTIC weather.
Well, the partly cloudy sky for tonight. A little bit on the humid side for early September, down to 66. And for tomorrow, intervals of clouds and sunshine, humid. We'll top out in the mid-80s. We start out dry, but we'll see a couple of heavy, gusty thunderstorms roll through during the afternoon and early evening. Storms capable of producing flooding downpours, damaging wind gusts, even an isolated tornado. And we'll have some leftover rain later tomorrow night, down to 58. Still some rain out there Sunday morning, but we should dry out a little bit Sunday afternoon. Clouds give us some sunshine, a high near 70. Right now it's 79 in Farmington, 81 in Windsor Locks, and it's 81 in Hartford. This is meteorologist John Ferrick in the WTIC Weather Center.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars Lose the Weight, Stop Smoking Early Bird Special, $49.99. Seminars Thursday, September 18th, Hilton Garden in Hartford North, Bradley International Airport, Windsor. Weight loss, 5:30 p.m. Stop Smoking Seminar, 8 p.m. Or Saturday, September 20th, Holiday Inn Express, Southington. Weight loss, 11 a.m. Stop Smoking Seminar, 2 p.m.
Eggland's Best, the only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Available in so many delicious varieties. Classic, cage-free, organic, free-range, and pasture-raised. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Looking for the best ways to prepare for retirement this year? Then be sure to tune in to Johnson Brunetti's Money Wisdom tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. right here on WTIC News Talk 1080.
I can't get the signal. Okay, seriously. Now there's absolutely no excuse not to listen to WTIC News Talk 1080. You can literally hear us anywhere when you listen on your smartphone. And now you can hear us on the Odyssey app, the iHeartRadio app, and the TuneIn app. So pick your favorite and search and follow WTIC News Talk 1080 in the app. Then listen wherever you are. It's really that easy. So no more, I can't get the signal. We've made it easy. WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps.
If you have any sort of joint pain, you got to listen up. Whether it's from years of hard work or an old injury that never healed right, whatever it is, you can have it stop right now. I'm Brian Shackman here talking about QC Kinetics. You can flip the script. It's regenerative medicine, advanced cellular treatments that help your body heal and restore the damage in your joints. They don't cover it up. They don't cut it out. They're actually helping heal and restore. The results are long-lasting relief, and it's amazing. It's so busy here in Connecticut, they opened up a third office. So instead of planning your day around pain, plan it around life, whether it's walking, hiking, playing with your kids, whatever. QC Kinetics can do without surgery, without drugs. Okay, give them a call. That first consultation is totally free. So bring your MRI, your x-rays, and find out if it's something for you. 860-440-PAIN. Again, it's 860-440-PAIN. They're located in Avon, New Haven, and Glastonbury. So give them a call. Chances are it's close to you. That free consultation, 860-440-PAIN.
Actual price will depend. Prescription plan featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and to store. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is.
You know who it is. It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century. It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, so we are back. It's Reese on the Radio, WTIC News Talk 1080. So Roseanne has never seen these coins. So I put them up on the screen. So as you can see, the black coin is the 1 cent food stamp coin.
It's a penny.
That is a 1 cent coin.
It probably costs more to make that coin than the penny.
Green was 5 cent, 10 cent blue, 25 cent red, 50 cent in the pink.
So, you know, Monopoly has money, right?
Yes.
But this Monopoly has like bills, like what they call fold-in money.
Sure.
This is what you would find in the off-brand version of Monopoly. It's called Hoodopolis.
Yes, but can you imagine, like I'm saying, the shame that when you purchase something with food stamps at the store, you were given a handful of these plastic coins.
You know,
imagine you were purchasing something in the end with the tax on it. Like you bought something that was 99 cents and the full total came to 108 and you paid with 2 food stamp dollars. You had to come 92 cents of food stamp change.
You know what coins sound like change? You know, sometimes you just
absolutely.
just shake it around in your hand like it's got a sound. It jangles. That I can hear that. I can hear that.
You can hear the clankling of plastic.
I can hear the
clackety clack of plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is pretty bad, right?
That's
So this is what I'm talking about. Like this, again, look, and this was a motivator, right? This is, again, having had that experience is why I never went on welfare. Even when I was homeless, when I was struggling, there was no way I was getting a job, okay? No matter what. Okay, I was selling fudgy-wudgy bars on Long Island.
I was cleaning people's houses to not have to go into the system. As a single mother raising a child, I preferred cleaning people's houses to getting in the welfare system. Like there's nothing
technically
about
how we got together.
That is actually how we got together.
Yeah.
But there's this makes me think about my post that I posted a few days ago. If you think white folks are privileged simply because of their skin color, I really want you to stop and think about how privileged one must be to be able to stay in housing that they pay $37 for. They don't really pay any electric bills. They get their hair done, their nails done. They can take their little food stamps card and get Taco Bell.
Right.
And you know, their diabetes is paid for. Their
in essence, their livelihood subsidized.
Everything is paid for.
Yeah.
They don't even have to go to school if they don't want to. I mean, they wake up and they run around and, you know, commit crime, and in some cities they can commit a crime and get out 20 minutes later. They got a free lunch out of the deal. You know what I mean? Like, this is almost like, how is that not privilege?
Yeah, I don't know. But like I said, knowing that, I will admit, and it's crazy that people don't understand that. Having had the experience to use these coins.
I'm glad I didn't know you back then.
You know, I was a baby. But having had the experience of using these coins, or in many cases, coming home with the items my mom would send me with and then asking her if I could keep the food stamp coins so I could buy candy. Stop laughing.
I'm sorry. You must have been so cute. Oh.
And she would give them to me, and sure enough, we'd buy, tasty cakes and all that other good stuff because you could still purchase that. The stores would let you use that, and you didn't really...
Did you save all your little pennies until you had enough?
My little plastic pennies? No. And it's funny because to show you exactly how rude of a person that I was, if my mom gave me that plastic food stamp money, I would toss the pennies. They were beneath me. Yeah,
well, obviously.
I don't want the pennies.
Ew.
The plastic pennies are worthless.
I'll take the plastic nickel, though.
It shows how arrogant I was as a child. But yeah, so there you are.
So what you're saying is if I walk into Hollis, Queens, in your old neighborhood, I might find some old pennies laying on the ground.
You will not. Trust me. If anyone's holding those, I'm sure that you, and I think
Are they collector's items now?
They have to be. They just have to be. I couldn't imagine anyone, they should be in the Smithsonian.
It is Americana at its finest.
It is. I mean, it totally should. There should be museums
next to one of those blocks of gum and cheese that never
dedicated to the hood in you. It should be in a hood museum, right?
It's right after the transgender section.
They should call it the Hoodsonian or something like that.
Yeah. It's right after the transgender section in the Smithsonian.
Exactly.
Maybe before.
Let's go to Steve in Springfield. Hello, Steve. Thanks for holding. How are you?
Hey, Reese. I'm making too much of a habit of talking to you. I just turned 69. How old are you?
I've just turned 56 on the 14th of August.
Oh wow, you're just a young whippersnapper.
I've fought so hard.
I got something that I meant to bring up the other day, but I got distracted with the vaccine topic.
No problem.
So if the president uses the National Guard to go into a city, where does that put the race riots during the 60s or 50s and 60s that where JFK had to bring in the National Guard?
That's...
Are we going to use that as a court precedent for them in their case?
Well, you know what? I think that what they're going to do is, first of all, if you bring the National Guard and you put them on federal land, no one can say a thing about it, right? I mean, that's primarily what the idea is going to be. It's like bring the National Guard in to stand around on federal land. And once they're there, you can weasel your way, if you will, into the city. And I think that's what Donald Trump is going to do. He's going to find a way to get leaders. And by the way, there's interviews going on right now in Chicago where people in the community are demanding the National Guard come in.
Like the actual people that actually live in Chicago.
Actual citizens who are making a demand. So a lot of this posturing that you're seeing from Pritzker and the likes of, what's his name, Brandon Johnson, that stuff is really for the likes of Morning Joe and the news media and things like that and MSNBC. But, if this guy wants to go above 7% approval rating, Brandon Johnson's going to have to bend a knee. What do you got?
I lived in Chicago.
I'll tell you, they're painting themselves into a corner.
Yeah.
Because this is going to fall apart. This whole argument is going to fall apart on it. And plus, not only that, too, if you stop and think about it, there is such a thing as if the individuals who live in Chicago are having their civil rights violated.
That's true.
By criminals.
Well, let's go one step further, Steve. Steve, here's what you need to understand. Because, the same thing that's happening in Connecticut is going to happen in Chicago, but not with immigration, with crime. When you told people that you were building a sanctuary for them here in Connecticut, what did they do? They flourished. They were seen everywhere. They went everywhere. They did whatever. It took crackdowns in order for people to start go into hiding. When you tell the people of Chicago, as Brandon Johnson and Pritzker are saying, is that we're going to keep the feds out, you are telling criminals, because they watch the news too. You are telling criminals that we're not going to bring in the feds to curb
You're
the crime.
safe here.
You're safe here. You have a safe haven to commit crimes against folks. So what happens? The problem exacerbates. People start going above and beyond to commit crimes, doing things that they know they're not going to be,
With that video
stop.
we saw last night with Johnny, where dudes were pulling long rifles out of their pants.
Exactly. They're
On the
walking
street,
through the
just
street and they
normally.
know that the mayor and the governor are protecting them as opposed to the citizens. So what are you going to see? You're going to see bedlam in the streets and these guys fighting themselves, saying, look, we got to stop the crime, but the only way that we can do it is by bringing in a federal government, but that's acquiescing to Donald Trump. And they don't want to do that. And they're more worried about the political.
I got one final point.
Yeah.
I've noticed that lately, what Trump is doing is if they try to thwart him or squash him on one point,
yeah,
he's finding another law that he can exploit to get things done.
Well, he's not
finding
exploiting.
more new ways of doing stuff.
He's
They're
not
in
exploiting the
trouble.
laws, and that's what's really important. Is it's not exploitation. All he's attempting to do is implement or
Yeah.
enforce laws that already exist.
Right. And the end of the day, I think that what people need to understand is that while everyone else in the news media are making this about Trump, at the end of the day, the people of Chicago are saying, dude, you really can't say it's about him when his objective is to protect us.
Right.
Like, people read through that nonsense. So thank you, Steve. I appreciate you, buddy. Have a great weekend. Let's go to Tom and Thomaston before we get out of here. I'm sorry. Did you want to say something before we go to Tom?
Yeah, I lived in Chicago on the south
Uh-huh.
side, 103rd and King.
Uh-huh.
My ex and I got
let
into
me
an
put him on
argument.
hold because that noise is going to be a lot. Sorry.
Ex and I got into an argument. It was probably around 9, 10 o'clock at night. And
Uh-huh.
what I typically do, I went for a walk. Boy, I heard him and his mom screaming, "Go get her! She can't be." Now you see me, I'm a little light-skinned. 130.
People in Chicago thought you were white.
Everybody thinks I'm white. They came in a car, I mean, flying down. Was that 103rd?
Mm-hmm.
They came flying down 103rd, screaming, "Get in this mother in car!" And I'm like, "What the heck?" They told me, like, this is not the place where you want to be walking after the sun goes down.
Yeah.
And this was back in 2006, when before the boy was even born.
I love the way you say back in 2006. That wasn't that long ago.
Well, it's not today.
Yeah, okay. well,
So if it was dangerous then to the point where I was told, like, nobody goes outside after the sun goes down,
yeah.
I can only imagine how much it's gotten
I don't know
worse.
how Dorothy and Joe still stay there. I just don't know. I mean, God bless them. They're
Well,
flourishing. But
Joe was a Chicago cop.
Yeah.
So, the police patrol around their house regularly
Oh, yeah.
because, he's a retired cop.
yeah. All right. Let's go to Tom and Thomason before we get out of here. Hey, Tom.
Hey, hello to the both of you. Hey, Reese, maybe I didn't realize I was a white devil. Maybe my name should be, maybe I should be Beelzebub from Bristol, you know?
Beelzebub.
Beelzebub Tom. That's what you.
from Bristol, yeah. I got a question for Roseanne, but first, you brought up Jenny McCarthy. Let's remember, she ran around with that quack doctor who faked all his research on autism.
That's correct.
It was nothing but a fraud.
That's correct. Yeah, without a
Yeah.
doubt. What was your question for Roseanne?
Oh, Roseanne,
Yes.
you were a medic, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you earn a expert medic badge or a combat medic badge?
No, I never deployed, and I never went out for an E EFMB.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering. Yeah, I never. I got out before. I got a expert infantry badge, but never. Thank God, never was in combat.
Did you ever take?
Yeah.
Did you ever take it up? Because I know Roseanne says that usually that folks who are in the military who become medics, that there's another process that you cannot become an EMT, or is that difficult?
No.
What was it? How did you?
No. In order to become a medic, you have to be EMT certified.
Oh,
EMT
right, okay.
registered. I was in the nursing program, the LPN program, which
Okay.
then requires me to go on and get my practical nurse license, which
Oh, okay. Tom, did you pursue it after the fact?
he was an EIB, expert infantry badge. That's
Well, thank you.
You can't be an infantryman in the civilian world on a professional level. They don't do that.
Okay. Well, I thought he did. I thought he had medical training. I'm sorry. Maybe I misunderstood what he was saying.
Most of your infantrymen will have like very minimal of
I'm out of my
medical
depth.
training.
I'm out of my
You
depth on this conversation,
kind
aren't
of
I?
are, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's okay. So every soldier in the military, every soldier in the army has to learn how to treat himself, herself, and their partner. But like bare minimum, we call an IFAC. It's a little pouch that has gauze and bleeding stuff, things like that just quick triage. But
Oh, okay.
yeah.
All right. Just wondering. Was that it, Tom?
Yeah.
Thank you, man. I
excellent.
appreciate you.
guys-
Have a wonderful weekend, sir.
Yeah, you two both.
You got
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that stuff.
I
You know,
know.
I hate blood. I just
know.
can't.
You're
It's just
so cute.
It's nasty.
You are the typical, like if you would have been one of my infantrymen, you would have been one of the guys screaming and crying, begging to get the nasal spray flu shot because needles scare you.
First of all, blood shows injury, and like when I see it, I'm sort of like, Can you believe it? Like I've been in fights, and I've actually been bloodied. Like you understand that?
Did you
Like,
pass out at the sight of your own blood?
No, because then I got adrenaline going. Then I don't care. But if I saw a guy and his face was all bloody, like I got into a fight when I was in summer camp, right, in grade school. I punched a kid's nose, right, and he bled a lot. And I freaked out at all of the blood. I was like, can you do me a favor? Can you stop bleeding? That's disgusting.
Can you turn away? It's gross.
Yes.
I broke a kid's nose when I was probably 12 or 13. He was being not a very nice
The least he could
person.
do was not bleed.
Broke his nose.
Yeah, I don't know if I broke the kid's nose, but I
did.
know I made him. I know it made his nose
I did
bleed.
the same thing in 5th grade with a spelling book.
You
Bust
hit a
the
guy
kid
with a
nose
spelling book?
And broke his nose and blood went everywhere.
Dang. Well, I used my little fist. I'm bony though.
I didn't
so.
use a weapon. Be careful. Jesus, it may
I
be.
threw it like a ninja star. I didn't know it was going to hit him in his nose. I was aiming for it. I was aiming for the
The
back of his
story
head.
gets worse.
Yeah, but he turned around. I was aiming for the
Oh,
back
you
of
was
his head. He
aiming
turned
for the-
around and
right.
hit him in the
You were only trying to give a concussion, not
Yeah.
That's our show. We are out of here this week, and I hope you enjoyed this week, this short week, as it was. And I always say radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your mind. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the radio. She's Roseanne on the radio. He is Mark Christopher. He's at the BPS Traffic Center. Good night, Mark. Have a great weekend. Then we got bad blood. Good night, Mark.
Taylor Swift.
You guys have a great weekend. Enjoy.
You got it.
A little Neil Sedaka to wrap up the week.
Why not?
Everybody in a good mood, right? Hey, guys, if you're heading into Hartford right now, westbound 84, you got delays approaching the...
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, man. Have a
5
wonderful
Flatbush Avenue,
weekend.
East
Find out who the
Moving
mole
well now.
is.
Yeah, I need to. I was like, it kind of made me burn me up. I said, Roland, calm down, man. It ain't. You
Yeah,
ain't got to, because I been to smack somebody up in here.
There's always one, dude.
Downtown up in the winter.
Yep.
Have a good one.
You
too.
Moving well, Glastonbury and East.
Roll to roll.
Middletown, Waterbury's a little slow.
Oh,
The
you two
mole?
in the row to row. Yeah, I'll tell you about it off the air. Thank you, Michael A. I appreciate you. John Beckman, congratulations. No, not congratulations. Thank you. That's what I meant to say.
Words are hard.
I hope you guys got an opportunity to watch the video. I know a lot of people are responding to it. It has got over 3,000 views on my page, on my X page, and it is still blowing up. The Connecticut Sentinel has done an article about it. You can go there and find it as well.
I really think we need to do that new segment that I was mentioning. How
Which one?
long until this person
Oh.
calls Reese the N-word? Like, I feel like that's a segment that we should really
Well,
do.
speaking of which, Roseanne came up with an idea that was immediately shot down by the front office. And since you're all here listening to the program, we'd like
You're welcome.
Roseanne came up with the idea, and I did a small version of it, or a quick version of it. We thought that we could play a promo during the or after the commercial break that sounded a little like this. Here goes. Let me see. Here we go. There it is. All right, listen up. It went like this.
Reese on the radio.
You are the nigga.
On News Talk 1080 WTIC.
I thought it was great.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we need to fix it up a little bit, but that's what it sounds like.
Reese on the radio.
You are the nigga.
On News Talk 1080 WTIC.
They said no.
I can't imagine why.
I can't imagine why either. We got to go.
That's a new segment, though. How long until the interview?
Yeah, how long until the word is
N-word?
used? We're gonna have to get a lot more black people on the show.
Good luck.
Damn, just shot it down.
I'm just saying, it's hard enough to find, Like, this guy was so arrogant, he had no idea what he was walking into.
Hard to find good guests? Is that what you're about to say?
Well, good.
Black guests.
Well, I mean, God, that sounds racist. I'm only speaking statistically based on the average interviewee that shows up.
We got to go.
By the way, since you were the subject of a vicious hate crime yesterday,
Okay.
Have we heard from BLM 420?
No. 860.
Whatever.
No.
ACLU,
no.
the NAACP,
Nowhere.
the
No.
NFL. Nobody?
I'm not black.
Well,
No.
I beg to differ.
Goodbye. Say goodnight, Roseanne.
Good night, Roseanne.
I love you guys. Be good to each other.